This is the story of St. Stephen, the first martyr, the first of that glorious army whose blood was the seed of the church, of whom Christ foretold, "Yea, the hour cometh, when whosoever killeth you will think that he doth a service to God." Our story begins in the deep darkness just before dawn, when a hurried knocking sounds at the door of the house of Gamaliel, the teacher in Jerusalem, and Gamaliel's daughter Sarah hastens to answer.
Who is it? What do you want?
Forgive me. I must speak to Rabbi Gamaliel. Is he still here?
He's just leaving. He's been summoned to a meeting of the Sanhedrin.
Yes, I know. My name is Stephen, and it's terribly important.
Who is it, Sarah? Is it Nathan?
No, Father. A young man named Stephen.
Forgive me, Rabbi, but it's so important. May I have a minute?
Can't it wait until later in the day?
No. You see, it's about Peter and John. You know them, Rabbi. They've been arrested.
Of course, the followers of the Nazarene. And that must be why the council has been called.
Yes, and I've come to beg you to speak for them, Rabbi. They'll listen to you. Even the high priest will listen to you.
But why have these two been arrested? What have they done?
Nothing, Rabbi. You've heard them preaching day after day in Solomon's porch at the temple.
Ah, yes, they are not learned, but they have a strange eloquence. They interest me. But why should they be arrested?
A few days ago, Rabbi, Peter healed a cripple in the name of Jesus of Nazareth. The Sadducees said it was blasphemy, but the crowds hooted at them until they had to hurry away.
I see. It's strange that men so simple and unlettered should have the power of miracles. But God often works through unexpected instruments. The only danger is that men may forget the law which is our only salvation.
We obey the law, Rabbi Gamaliel.
That is true. I have never heard your leaders preach otherwise. But, well, young man, you were not born in Jerusalem, were you?
No, Rabbi. My people were exiled long ago. But we have held fast to the law in our exile. And though we use Greek in our synagogues, we are as strict and faithful as any in Jerusalem.
They call you Hellenists, you Jews who speak Greek. One of the best pupils I ever had is a Jew of Tarsus named Saul. So I have reason to know that the prejudice against you is foolish. Still, it exists. And there seem to be many Hellenists among you Nazarenes.
But Peter and John were born here, and what they teach is not contrary to the law. It is the fulfillment of the law, Rabbi Gamaliel. Not empty arguments about forms, but a message of hope to everyone seeking for God.
The law has preserved us a nation for thousands of years, Stephen. And only if we cling to it in every tiny particular can we endure until the Messiah comes.
But there are so many details, so many hundreds of things to do or not to do.
I have studied the law all my life, Stephen, and even now I can't be sure that I have ever observed it perfectly for even one day. It is hard, yes, but it is the law. Now, as to Peter and John, I have never heard them preach anything which did not conform to the law, and therefore I shall speak for them before the council.
Thank you, Rabbi.
I think, forgive me, that your little band of Nazarenes are perhaps fanatical, but I am sure that to persecute you would be wrong. It is the duty of the Sanhedrin to root out false doctrine and to punish anyone who would lead our people away from the law. But I cannot see that there is any such danger here.
God bless you, Rabbi.
Now I must hasten or I will be too late.
May I come with you, Father? I'd like to see these men and hear you.
If you wish, but hurry.
A few hours later, on the steps outside the council chamber, Stephen pressed through the crowd to reach Sarah.
I can't get near your father, Sarah, and I must thank him. Tell him that his words have saved 2 lives. We're grateful, and we'll all pray for him.
Wasn't it splendid? I was so afraid...
Sarah, I must see your father.
He will be at home later on, Mason.
What on earth was he thinking of? I can't understand it.
Oh, but I thought he spoke so wisely, Mason. Didn't you approve?
Approve? When we could have wiped out these followers of the Nazarene once and for all this very day? I never imagined the Rabbi Gamaliel, of all people, would interfere.
The council agreed with him, Nathan.
And you are wrong if you think you could have wiped out the teaching of Jesus of Nazareth just by killing two good and holy men.
What? Who are you?
My name is Stephen.
Oh, a Greek Jew. And more Greek than Jew, like the rest of them. What do you know about the law?
I know that the spirit of the law is to bring us close to God. And God does not care about the tongue when we pray with our hearts.
But what do you know
now,
about...
you mustn't quarrel. Not here. Nathan is the son of the high priest, Stephen. Naturally, he's upset.
My father wasn't pleased with Gamaliel, Sarah.
I saw that, Nathan. He was angry. And my father was not. Perhaps that's why the council listened to my father.
Sarah, I'm sorry. This matter needn't concern you. Let me take you home. I'll wait for the rabbi there.
As you wish, Nathan. But I think my father was right. And I'm sorry the council ordered those poor men to be scourged. I don't think they deserved it at all.
Thank you, Sarah. But they will hold it an honor. Our Jesus was also scourged before they crucified him. Can we do less for him? Thank you, Father Sarah, for all of us.
Months passed. Months in which the gulf between the Sanhedrin and the followers of Christ grew wider, and feeling in Jerusalem grew more bitter. One day in the courtyard of Gamaliel's house, Sarah had reached the quarreling point with the son of the high priest.
You're unkind, Nathan. Unfair and unkind.
You don't understand, Sarah. Rebecca may be a very good old woman, but she's fallen into the clutches of these Nazarenes. She'll have to learn better, that's all.
You can't let her starve, Nathan. She's a widow. She has a claim on the charity of the synagogue under the law.
Let her go to Solomon's porch, then let them care for her.
I don't see why you're so angry, Nathan. My father says that there's nothing wrong in the teachings of these Nazarenes.
Your father? Sarah, I don't understand your father, and what's more, others are beginning to wonder about him, too. Our greatest doctor of the law, and yet he pretends that there's nothing wrong, that these people are perfectly orthodox. Why, half of them aren't even real Jews, Greeks, yes, and even Gentiles.
Rebecca is a proselyte, Nathan. Perhaps that's why she finds comfort among the Nazarenes. Perhaps they don't make her feel that the law is too good for her. Oh, why, Nathan, look. They're coming up the gate. Why, surely it's Stephen.
Yes, I recognize him.
I'll ask him to help Rebecca.
Sarah, I forbid you.
You can't forbid me, Nathan. I obey my father. Good morning, Stephen. Wait, let me open the gate for you.
Good morning, Sarah. Is your father at home?
He is, but he's busy just now. A very dear friend has arrived from Tarsus. His favorite pupil, in fact. They've been talking for an hour or more. They'll be out soon, I'm sure. Will you wait?
If I may. Oh, good morning, Nathan.
Good morning.
Stephen, I wanted to see you. I've been told that you have been put in charge of the distribution of charity at your synagogue.
Yes. That is, there are 7 of us. It was too much for Peter and the others. Oh, we don't have very much money, of course, but well, that makes it all the more important to see that it's distributed fairly. It's a great honor, and that's why I came here today.
Why?
Well, everyone knows that Rabbi Gamaliel drew up the regulations about charity long ago. Our problems are a little different, and well, I'd hoped he'd advise us.
Why, I'm sure he'll be glad to.
And you wanted to see me. Why?
My handmaid has an aunt, an old woman and a widow. Her name is Rebecca. I think she's a Gentile, Stephen. But ever since her marriage, she followed the law just as carefully as anyone. A little while ago, she heard your Peter preach, and she's been like a new person ever since. So happy.
That happens when Peter speaks, Sarah. He's so humble, so gentle. Everyone loves him.
I know. I've heard him. It's so different from those dry discussions in the temple. Well, you see, Stephen, Rebecca's been receiving the widow's dole from the synagogue ever since her husband died. But now Nathan says that she can't have it anymore.
He's a Gentile, a proselyte, carried away by every new doctrine. How else can we keep such people in the law?
By giving the law meaning for them, Nathan. The law isn't an iron straitjacket laid on us by Moses long ago. It's the path to lead all men to God.
God's law is for his people. Ours has been the sacrifice. Ours will be the kingdom when the Messiah comes to restore the glory of Israel. What have the Gentiles to do with God's covenant with his people?
The law has fulfilled itself, Nathan. Now there is a new covenant, which shall be for all people, and a new law, which is the law of love.
Sarah, I told you, this is pure blasphemy. How can there be a new law without a new Moses?
The prophets have told us over and over again that the Messiah would bring a new covenant.
And with it the kingdom and the glory over all the nations of the earth. Has that come about?
His kingdom is not of this world, Nathan. How could it be? Yet through him all nations shall turn to Jerusalem, even when the temple itself is forgotten.
The temple forgotten?
The temple will never be forgotten. What words are these in the house of Gamaliel?
I'm afraid it's just what we were speaking of, Saul, the problem of the Nazarenes. Saul, this is Nathan, the son of the high priest, and young Stephen, a follower of Jesus of Nazareth.
Yes, sir. How do you do?
Saul has come from Tarsus to find out what is causing such agitation among us.
I confess my first hearing isn't reassuring. How can the temple be forgotten, young man, unless the law is forgotten too?
Does the Most High dwell in a house made with hands, sir?
You know the words of the prophet, Saul. Heaven is my throne and the earth my footstool. What house will you make for me, saith the Lord?
I'm not very good at preaching, sir. You are very welcome to come to Solomon's porch and hear Peter or John or any of the 12.
A lot of fishermen. Not a doctor of the law among them. Not even one learned man in their whole company. And yet people listen to them.
I have heard that they preach a new law, according to this prophet who was crucified.
He was not a prophet, sir. He was the Christ.
I see. He was the Messiah for whom our people has waited through hundreds of generations. And now that he has come and gone, we can forget Moses and the prophets.
Not forget them. No, the commandments stand. But he has given us a new commandment, that we love one another. And now the old law, which was for our people only, becomes the new law for all people everywhere.
And I say it's blasphemy and should be punished, stopped, rooted out before any more people are misled by it.
I want to understand this doctrine. According to your teachings, the Messiah has come. All the years of waiting are over. And the Messiah is dead and buried, and Israel is still captive.
He is not dead, sir. Ask the Roman soldiers who saw his empty tomb, if you don't believe us who saw him and heard him.
Rabbi Gamaliel, is it possible that people pay attention to these ravings?
The story of this Jesus is very well attested, Saul, and I can't believe that all of them are lying or mad.
But what of the promise that the Messiah would bring the restoration of the kingdom?
Have you read Isaiah, sir? Does not the prophet say that when the Son of Man comes, he will be given to suffering and disgrace in the eyes of men? He is the new and perfect sacrifice, and this time it is for all men.
He argues well, Saul.
Do you believe, Rabbi Gamaliel, that this crucified carpenter was the Messiah?
I don't know, Saul, I don't know. But I do know that there is nothing in Holy Writ which makes it impossible.
Is it not written, sir, that he would be rejected by his own, that the stone which the builders rejected, the same would become the cornerstone of the temple?
At least I'm beginning to see why there's so much uproar about this new doctrine.
If you could hear Peter speak, Saul. His voice when he speaks of Jesus always makes me want to cry. You couldn't believe evil of a man like that.
Yes, the women flocked to Solomon's porch, as if a woman could understand the law.
The law is enough for me. It has kept us a nation through thousands of years of persecution. And now you Nazarenes want to forget the covenant, and let in Gentiles, heathens, anyone and everyone.
Why not, Saul? Did God create them only to damn them? It has been our privilege to keep the law until now, so that God might save the world. Could there be a higher destiny than that? But now we have the new law, which was made from the old.
I have known many who followed the law to the letter, Saul. And yet their hearts were hard, and they wore pride like a garment.
Yet outside the law there is no salvation. Yourself you taught me that, Rabbi Gamaliel.
I don't know. Each night I read and read again the sacred writings, praying for understanding. I am afraid that I have been wrong all my life. And then again I fear that this is a new and terrible temptation laid upon me as a test in my old age.
Father, you're very tired. Come and lie down for a little while. You will forgive him, please. He sleeps so little nowadays, he must rest when he can.
Of course. I'll come again if I may.
I'm afraid I wearied you, Gamaliel. I'm sorry.
I'm old, Saul. You're young, all of you, and so sure of yourselves. I'm an old man and not sure of anything. God be with you.
I'm sorry that our discussion distressed the rabbi. He's so kind and wise.
He is an old man, of course. It's been interesting to hear you, Stephen. I'm glad I had the chance.
If you'd only come to Solomon's porch, sir, you'd find others much more qualified to speak than I. Good day, sir. Goodbye, Nathan.
Goodbye, Stephen.
So that is a Nazarene.
And there are more of them every day. Every day they preach, and every day more people listen to them.
I never realized how dangerous they were.
And my father can do nothing because Gamaliel insists that they're harmless.
Gamaliel's an old man. Too old. Why, he talks like a dreamer. And there was no one stricter in the law than he when I studied under him.
You see, if they can turn the head of a man like Gamaliel...
You're right. Something must be done, Nathan, and done at once.
The law is clear enough about blasphemy, Saul. Instant death by stoning immediately after conviction. That has always been the law.
Yes, and that would prevent any chance of stirring up sympathy among the people. What's more, it would scatter the leaders without any further trouble. And the law forbids shedding more blood than can possibly be avoided.
If only you'd come to Jerusalem sooner, we'd have ended this danger long ago.
We'll need 3 witnesses, Nathan.
3? I can find 30. Everyone has heard him talk as he talked here.
And that was blasphemy, sheer blasphemy, whatever Gamaliel says. We must act quickly. Nathan, take me to your father.
So a few hours later, Sarah rushed into Gamaliel's room and fell on her knees beside his couch.
Father, wake up.
What is it?
They've arrested Stephen. He's being tried now, right now. I just heard it in the street. Everyone's going to the council chamber. It's like a mob.
But didn't they summon me?
No, and I know why they don't dare.
Help me up, Sarah. My cloak.
Yes, Father.
Come, we must hurry.
Yet when they reached the square before the council chamber, every approach was blocked by a great crowd, already murmuring with anger. Above them, high under the portico at the top of the steps, they could see the circle of the Sanhedrin and hear Nathan's voice lifted harshly.
You have heard the witnesses. You have heard how this Stephen has said openly that the condemned and crucified carpenter of Galilee was the Messiah. You have heard how he says that the very temple and the Ark of the Covenant will be destroyed, and that there will be no more need of the law. How say you? Is that not blasphemy? You know the law decrees that the blasphemer shall die by the hands of those who condemn him, silenced by stones so that he cannot corrupt the faithful. I invoke the law he has blasphemed against this Stephen.
Let us hear the prisoner.
What need? We have heard the witnesses.
It is the law. Prisoner, are these things so?
Ye men, brethren, and fathers, hear.
Look, Father, look. His face. It's as if there were a light around him.
The face of a young angel. Sarah, we must get to the council.
Oh, please let us through. It is the Rabbi Gamaliel.
Moses said to the children of Israel, I will raise you up a prophet out of your own brethren. Him shall you hear. It was Moses who in the desert with the angel received the word of life to give to us, which is the law.
Oh, please let us through. Oh, Father, I can't. The crowd is too thick.
They must not kill him.
Yet our fathers would not obey Moses, but they turned to Aaron and said to him, make us gods to go before us. And as for this Moses who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him.
Let us through. We must get through.
So did our fathers before us. And ye stiff-necked, uncircumcised of heart, you always resist the Holy Ghost. As your fathers did, so do you also. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? As ye have slain those who foretold the coming of the Just One, when he came, you betrayed and murdered him. Behold!
Father, look. Look at his face.
I see the heavens opened, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of God.
He is condemned out of his own mouth. Let the law be fulfilled.
Oh, it's horrible. I can't bear it, Father.
God forgive us all.
And your song. Look at him. See, they're handing him their cloaks to hold.
Is it over, child?
No, he's still alive. He's trying to speak.
Lord, lay not this sin to their charge.
When the thing was done, the crowd slunk away as crowds do when violence has ended. Slowly, with faltering steps, Sarah and Gamaliel made their way toward the terrible place where Stephen's body lay, crushed and broken. Gamaliel knelt beside it, lifting it in shaking arms. And looking up, he saw Saul of Tarsus, still staring down out of a white set face, as if held by a spell.
Saul, my son, what have you done?
It was the law. He had blasphemed. It was the law.
The old law is finished, Saul. This is the end of it. It has come to an end in death.
No.
You heard his words. The words of mercy and love. Lord, lay not this sin to their charge. That is the new law, Saul.
He would have destroyed us all. He had to die.
Perhaps he had to die, but not because he transgressed the old law. He died to show us that the old law itself is dead. And by this very act, you will scatter the teachers of the new law over the whole world. And his dead voice will cry his message louder than God's own thunder into men's hearts.
I will not believe it. I will not believe it.
You will not forget, Saul. You cannot forget. This dead boy has walked in the footsteps of his master, even to the gates of death, and his testimony will live. I tell you, Saul, you will never forget this murdered Stephen, and in the end, he will overcome you in the name of his master, who was the Christ.
And out of that first blood shed for Christ came the miracle upon the road to Damascus, when Saul of Tarsus became the glorious Apostle Paul and set himself humbly to follow the Master, of whom he first learned from his victim and conqueror, the martyred St. Stephen.
The Quiz Kids, brought to you by the makers of Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer for headache.
Alka-Seltzer for acid indigestion.
Alka-Seltzer for cold discomfort.
Yes, when these occasional ailments make you miserable, take Alka-Seltzer for really fast, really effective relief.
All right, Quiz Kids, listen closely. Here's today's first question. Arrange the first letters of the 4 major meat-packing companies so as to spell a branch of the United States Armed Forces.
Yes, that's today's number one puzzler. And can you folks there at home figure it out? Well, you'll have a few seconds to give it some thought while the youngsters here in school answer roll call. And here they are, the Quiz Kids and the chief quizzer himself, Joe Kelly.
Thank you, Bob Murphy, and hello, everyone. We're glad to mark all you folks present in class this afternoon, and we know you're going to enjoy this reading, writing, and arithmetic session here in radio's famous classroom of the air. You listeners have sent us some mighty interesting questions, but before we tackle them, I just want to say that I have a greeting from our best teacher of 1948. Roy Fisher wants me to tell you Quiz Kids and all our listeners that he's having the time of his life down there in Miami. And now, children, let's get to work. First, roll call. Joel?
I'm Joel Coverman. I'm 12 years old in the departmental in the Volt School.
Lonnie?
I'm Lonnie Lundy. I'm 12 years old, and last Friday I was promoted to the 8th grade at Lincoln School in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Good for you, Lonnie. Mark?
I'm Mark Muller. I'm in the 2nd grade. I'm 7 years old at the University of Chicago Laboratory School.
David?
I'm David Freifeld. I'm 12 years old and in 8th grade at West School in Waukegan, Illinois.
And a new member of our board, winner in a recent quiz down competition conducted by the Chicago Sun-Times, John.
John Galinas, age 12, was promoted to 7th grade at Wednesday, St. John Bosco School.
Well, good for you, Johnny. And now then, back to that first question from R.C. Haven of San Francisco, California. Arrange the first letters of the 4 major meat-packing companies so as to spell a branch of the United States Armed Forces. We have 2 hands up. Lonnie's hand was first.
Well, I'm not sure what the answer is, but 2 of the major meatpacking companies would be Armour and Swift.
Armour and Swift.
And that would be S.A. You say rearrange the 4 first letters.
That's right. Arrange the first letters of the 4 major meatpacking companies. Now, we have 2 of them. Joel, your hand was up.
Well, I was going to say the same thing as Lonnie was.
Oh, you were, huh? We can't think of any more? All right, I'll give you the others. Wilson and Cudahy. So, put them all together. The first letters, Lonnie?
Wax, W-A-C-S.
Wax. That's right, absolutely. That's correct. Well, I'm afraid I'll have to put a little check mark after that one. That meat question was a little bit too tough for you kids. Yeah, R.C. Haven of San Francisco gets a big Zenith radio phonograph combination from the makers of Alka-Seltzer. This is always Alka-Seltzer's award when the children miss your question, and this is a magnificent Zenith. It has the automatic record changer, the new Cobra tone arm, 2 FM bands. It's complete in every way. Now, when the quiz kids answer correctly, you also get a radio, a fine Zenith transoceanic standard shortwave portable in a convenient luggage case, the most outstanding portable on the market today. So send your questions in, friends. Send them to Quiz Kids, Chicago. Well, let's see what we can do with this next one. Mrs. A.P. Lee of Memphis, Tennessee points out that small creatures found in nature have their own substitutes for some of man's inventions. She says a spider has rigged up his own alarm clock. Can you explain what the spider uses? Mark?
The spider hides after he makes his web, and he has a string going from the web to the spider's leg, and when something gets caught, it jiggles the web, and the web jiggles the string, or it's a part of the web.
Yes, part of the web.
And it jiggles his foot, and then he knows he's caught something.
Yeah, isn't that? That's pretty keen, isn't it? Yes, sir. That's right, too. Now, the Australian brush turkey doesn't need an incubator. It has its own method for keeping its eggs at the right temperature to hatch them. What does it do, Mark?
It puts the eggs in old dead leaves, and when they rot,
yes,
the heat heats the eggs and hatches them.
That's just what happens. That's absolutely right. All right, now here's a music question from Gene Martin of Dallas, Texas. Our organist, Howard Peterson, will play a medley of 3 songs. You kids are to pick out one word from the title of each and end up with an announcement of a current celebration. All right, listen.
The first one is it's a grand old flag. The second one is the end of a perfect day, and the third one is mañana.
So
that would, well, of course, one of the words in the announcement would have to be mañana, since it's the only word in the song. And
all right. What
flag,
does that
flag day.
mean?
I think it means Flag Day mañana.
Flag Day mañana means.
That means tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's right, June 14th. Now, quiz kids, your next question will be asked by our guest observer for today. And I might add, he's the youngest guest observer we have ever had. He's only 17 years old and has just won the Minneapolis Star World Affairs Contest in competition with 13,700 other students. He is on his way east with the next 2 winning students, and I'm proud to welcome him to our classroom, Mr. Roger Quam.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Now, kids, Roger has a question to try on you that ought to be a lot of fun. The radio award for this question will go to the Rehabilitation Center for Crippled Children and Adults in Minneapolis. Roger, you tell the quiz kids about it, will you?
This is a question that was broadcast locally over station KSTP in Minneapolis and was 3 weeks before anyone got the right answer from the clues I will give you. You are to guess the identity of a certain Mr. Who, an American now living and a national figure. I'll start out with the original clue and add other clues during the program if you fail to identify him on the first one. Here's the first clue. He shall add 1 and 5. Way on top, it will arrive.
Well, quiz kids, there's your first clue. He shall add 1 and 5. Way on top, it will arrive. Now, you may consult among yourselves, and when I call on you, I'll take just one guess from the whole class. In the meantime, while you're conferring, here's Bob Murphy with a swell suggestion.
Let's have a picnic. I imagine this is a suggestion heard quite frequently at your house these days. Isn't that right, Mother? And I wonder how many of you remember to tuck the Alka-Seltzer package in the picnic basket, along with the sandwiches, the deviled eggs, the pickles, the cake, and all those good things to eat. Well, it's a mighty smart idea. Eating out in the open has a way of making eyes bigger than stomachs sometimes. And when you or someone in the family suffer from acid indigestion caused by overeating, you don't want to wait until you get home to get the welcome relief Alka-Seltzer can give. With Alka-Seltzer along, you can drop a tablet or 2 into a glass of water, listen to it fizz, and then drink it down. And say you'll begin to feel better fast. You won't have to sit it out while the others are having fun. No, sirree, with the fast, effective relief Alka-Seltzer offers, that uncomfortable, uneasy feeling of acid indigestion will be a forgotten interlude almost before you realize it. So remember, when you go to your drugstore for Alka-Seltzer, instead of 1, buy 2 packages, and take that extra with you wherever you go.
Well, I happened to hear you kids whispering among yourselves. They were in a regular huddle there while Bob Murphy was speaking. Have you decided who is Mr. Who? Only one guess. Lonnie?
Well, we've decided to say Secretary of State George Marshall.
Well, now, Roger, how about that? Would you like to comment on whether that's correct or incorrect?
I'm very afraid that isn't correct.
Uh-huh. Well, you see, kids, Roger didn't think you could possibly get it from that first clue. So we'll have another clue for you at the end of this question session. So here we go with more questions. Now, this next question comes from Archibald McLeish of Pacific Palisades, California. He asks, in how many states will there be no contest for Senate seats in the 1948 general election? Joel?
Well, a third of the Senate is up for re-election. That's 32, and since there's 48 of 18 Republicans, 14 Democrats, so there's 16 states that there won't be candidates up for re-election.
16 states, absolutely right. Now, how many did you say, how many Republicans?
18 Republicans and 14 Democrats.
That's absolutely right. Yes, sir. You certainly know your politics, Joel. Now, little 11-year-old Judith Hayes of Chicago has been stumping all her friends with this question, and now she wants to try it on you youngsters. We're going to use a piano with her question. And I'm told our new quiz kid, John Galinas, has been taking lessons. So, Johnny, will you step over here at the piano like a good boy, and then I'll tell you what to do next. All right, now take it easy. Don't stumble there. All right, now John's over at the piano. Yeah, now here, Johnny, is a music sheet, and I'm afraid you'll find nothing on it but the first 3 melody notes of a familiar musical composition, and the notes are all the same. You think you're good enough to play that? Huh? Well, all right. They're written without any special rhythm, but if you can think of any musical number that starts with those 3 notes, a song, a symphony, any kind of musical composition, you are to play it on the piano. And if you other quiz kids can think of a musical selection beginning with those 3 notes, you hum it for us. Is that clear? All right, Johnny, music, please. No, wait a minute. You just to play 3 notes. Now, what? Let's have just 3 notes. 3 times. That's it. All right. What number begins with 3 notes, all the same? Of course, you can change the key to anything you want. Johnny?
Well, I believe it's the lost chord.
You believe it's the lost chord? No. Oh, I'm sorry, Lonnie.
Yes, it could be the lost chord of that. That goes... And also Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
Well, Lonnie, you get over your own microphone. Lonnie sneaked over to Johnny's microphone while Johnny's at the piano. All right, let's have that again.
Also Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
I'll accept that. That's right.
Also Tramp, 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 the boys are marching.
That's another one, sure.
Also a popular song, We'll Gather Lilacs. We'll gather lilacs in the spring again.
All right, now I think Johnny has one here. Johnny?
Well, Wedding March, Wedding March starts out with the notes the same kind, but they're in a different key.
They're in a different key. Let's see, how do they go now? How's that go?
If I could play it, I'll play it.
All right. That's right. Uh-huh.
And the overture to William Tell, when they play on the Lone Ranger program, also begins.
Yeah? That's another one. And Lonnie?
There's still another spot in the overture to the William Tell. It's in the first part of the overture. The main theme goes like this.
Well, I guess that wraps that up in a nice blue ribbon, all right. Now, this next set of notes is a little bit harder. John, will you play this sheet of music, please? There you are, 6 notes, all alike this time. 6 notes. David?
Well, that one could be the lost chord.
No, I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. Lonnie?
Yes, it could be the lost chord, because that goes... As a matter of fact, the words are, seated one day at the organ, I was weary and ill at ease.
Well, I think you'll find the lost chord has 8 notes all the same at the very beginning.
Yeah, but he only played 6, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I say, yeah.
Well...
You're adding some more notes.
Yeah.
All right, Lonnie.
Yeah, but they'd still be the same. Those 6 notes would still open the composition.
Well, that's true. Yes, that's right, huh? But you still were throwing in a couple of extra ones there now. All right. You know, John, we didn't get a chance to hear much piano, just a touch of the classics now and then. How are you on Boogie Woogie?
Well, I'll try.
All right. Very, very fine, Johnny. Thanks a lot. Only taken piano 2 years and a half, as a matter of fact. I think he's getting along splendidly. Well, here we go with more questions. Charlotte Diaz of Alameda, California notes that the last names of some of our presidents start with the same 3 letters as the first name of another president. Now, what president's last name begins with the same 3 letters as the first name of our 33rd president? Lonnie?
That's Harry S. Truman, and the answer, there are 2 of them, Benjamin Harrison, H-A-R, and William Henry Harrison, H-A-R.
That's right.
And the president is Harry S. Truman, that's H-A-R-R-Y.
That's right. And there's a third one, too, Lonnie. I wonder if you can think
Harding.
of Harding, that's Warren Harding. That's right, Now, what president's last name begins with the same 3 letters as the first name of our 25th president? Joe?
Our 25th president was McKinley.
McKinley.
And his first 3 letters was W-I-L, so the president would be Thomas Woodrow Wilson.
That's right, Joel, my boy. That's correct. Well, I see our guest, Roger Quam, is coming back to the microphone. Roger, are you going to give the kids a second clue to Mr. Who?
You bet I am, Mr. Kelly. Remember, kids, the first clue went like this. He shall add 1 and 5. On the top, it will arrive. Now listen carefully. Here's your second clue.
I wonder what that clue is supposed to represent. Now you kids can go into a huddle again, because you'll have another chance to guess Mr. Who's identity in just a minute. In the meantime, here's Bob Murphy with a word about weddings.
Yes, this is the month of weddings, and, well, we have a suggestion for June brides. Listen.
Hello.
Mother? Oh, Mother, I'm so glad you're home. Something terrible's happened.
Why, Louise, darling, what is it?
We've quarreled. Bill and I have quarreled.
Now, dear, things can't always run smoothly, you know.
But when we were married, we said we never would. And now... Oh, Mother, you and Dad always seem to get along all right. How did you do it?
Well, what's the trouble all about, Louise?
Oh, Bill came home with a headache, and I've been trying to make some strawberry shortcake, and I was tired, and, one thing led to another.
I know. That's the way things often start. But instead of words, why didn't you try Alka-Seltzer?
Alka-Seltzer? Oh, you mean for Bill's headache? Why, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Well, you can be sure I'll remember from now on. And thanks, Mother.
Yes, June brides, there's a suggestion that's really worthwhile. When you or hubby have a headache, let Alka-Seltzer help keep peace in the family. It won't take you long to discover that there's nothing quite like Alka-Seltzer for fast, effective headache relief. You see, Alka-Seltzer's pain-relieving ingredient is already dissolved when you drink it, and therefore right ready to go to work on your headache discomfort, ready to bring you the welcome relief you want in a hurry. So remember this suggestion and keep a supply on hand all of the time. Then take Alka-Seltzer for fast relief whenever headache causes grief.
All right, kids, now let's get back to Mr. Who. Talk about your huddles here this afternoon. Do you think you can tell us now who's who, who is Mr. Who, Lonnie?
I'm afraid not, but our guess is Clinton P. Anderson.
Clinton P. Anderson. Well, how about that, Roy?
Well,
Roger?
I'm afraid not.
No. Well, Roger says this is your last chance. He's going to give you just one more clue, and then you can each have one guess. Okay, Roger.
To each his own, the sound is true. Cover the sheet, and he is through. He faces the challenge in his robe. At the bell, he starts to probe.
All right, David?
Eisenhower, and he's becoming president of Columbia University. In all the ceremonies, he wears these long cap and gowns. It's a robe.
Uh-huh. How about that, Roger?
No.
No. Joel?
Could it be Jersey Joe Walcott?
Jersey Joe Walcott? How about that, Roger?
Well, I don't think he'd be wearing an academic robe.
All right, Mark.
Could you repeat the clue?
No, son, I'm afraid we can't. How about you other two boys, John and Lonnie? Would you like to take a guess?
Well, I guess there's no sense in leaving it go at this. We might as well take a guess, so... Perry Como.
Perry Como. And John, how about you, son?
Well,
You want to take a guess?
Well, I think of maybe a presidential candidate. Maybe I was thinking maybe it's Truman.
No. That isn't correct, is it, Roger?
No, woman.
Well, you know, I thought sure you'd guess the answer from those last clues, but maybe this Mr. Who is just too hard for you kids to identify. Roger, will you tell us who Mr. Who is?
Well, Mr. Who is you. None other than Joe Kelly.
Now, how do you like that? See? You know, if Roger hadn't told me who Mr. Who was before we went on the air, I don't think I'd have guessed the answer myself. So you needn't feel badly. Roger explained the clues to me, and here's what they meant. He shall add is the biblical meaning for the name Joseph, my first name. 1 and 5, well, here in the classroom, we have 1 quiz master and 5 quiz kids. And then it seems that there's a type of man's hat they call a Kelly, and that's what they were talking about in the line, way on top, it will arrive. And then they call me a national figure because our program is heard over the National Broadcasting Company network. The bell was a cowbell, reminiscent of my days on the National Barn Dance and the RFD America program. And that line about at the bell, he starts to probe, referred to the NBC chimes preceding our program. We'll say that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? And, of course, since it was a miss, that means that we're sending one of those big Zenith radio phonograph combinations to the Minneapolis Rehabilitation Center for Crippled Children and Adults from the makers of Alka-Seltzer. Now, here's an interesting math question from a new father, John Hanson of Detroit, Michigan. Since the new tax law reduces the amount withheld from wages, Mr. Hanson intends to take the amount that's now added to his weekly check and invest it in United States security bonds for his baby son's future education. Now, if his weekly salary is $54.50, and the withholding tax rate has been reduced from 17% down to 15%, how many $25 United States security bonds could he give his son in 1 year by using only his new tax savings? Joel?
Well, it's 2% of 54.5 would be $1.09 a week. 52 weeks to year, that's $52 and 4.68. Or $56.68, and since the $25 bond only costs $18.75,
yes,
3 times $18.75 would be $56.25. So that'd give him 3 bonds a year,
yes,
plus 43 cents.
He'd have 43 cents left over. That's right, Joel. Roy Brenner of Greenville, Pennsylvania, thinks it might be fun to use names of composers as words in a sentence, and he hopes you kids will come up with some good puns. For example, let's see, you could say, I wonder Verdi next World Series will be played. Now, can you think of some others, John?
Well, the one you're talking about is Giuseppe Verdi.
Verdi, that's right. Well, you've got to think of another one. See, that was just a little example that I gave you. All right, Lonnie.
Well, I'll start off with Franz Liszt. Say, I'm going to the grocer to see how he's doing in preparing my grocery list.
List?
Of course, that's spelled L-I-S-T, and the composer is L-I-S-Z-T.
Yes, uh-huh. And, David?
I'm at the back.
At the back?
Uh-huh, at the back.
Oh, I see. Oh, there. Well, sorry you had to telegraph that one to me. Joel?
Well, with the German accent, back. What is wrong?
Yes.
And
all right.
Also handle with care.
Handle, yeah. Oh, yes, I get it. Uh-huh. Can we think of it? John?
Well, hide him in the closet. That could be hiding.
Hiding? Hiding? You hear? That's right. And Lonnie?
Well, I was going to say that.
Oh, you were, huh? Well, David?
I eat Mrs. Wagner's pies.
Oh, well, say, that's really a plug, huh? And Lonnie?
Would you call that a web, or would you call it something else? That is Weber.
Weber, I see. Weber, something else. Very, very good. Those are all fine, kids. Well, you all hear the school bell, and as usual, it means class is over for today. And while the judges are working on your report cards, I'm going to call Roger Quam back to our microphone once again. Roger, since you are the winner in the recent Big World Affairs contest conducted by the Minneapolis Star, I'm sure our listeners would be interested in hearing what you and the other thousands of students who participated in the contest think is the most important problem in the world today.
Well, Mr. Kelly, I think that all of us high school students believe that the biggest world problem is peace. Will we be able to achieve it? I believe most of us feel the answer is yes. A short while ago, as a part of World Affairs exams, about 50 of us discussed the critical problem of relations between the United States and Russia. There were many different views on the subject, nearly as many theories as students. But there was one thing we all agreed upon. World understanding and peace will be achieved if individuals have understanding. And we believe each one of us, by trying to know more about the other fellow and the other nation, can make an important part in helping to achieve world unity. And I'd like to say, Mr. Kelly, I don't think any group of young people is doing a bigger job in encouraging other youngsters to be well informed than the Quiz Kids. Being here in the Quiz Kids classroom this afternoon has been a wonderful experience for me.
It was a pleasure to have you with us, Roger, and best of luck. Well, children, let's see what your report cards say. Remember, though, whether you win or lose, you all will get a $100 security bond from the makers of Alka-Seltzer to help you with your future education. Let's see. The judges find that our entire class missed 2 questions this afternoon. Lonnie is first, Joel second, and Mark and John tied for third. So you youngsters will return to our classroom 2 weeks from today. Now, notice I say 2 weeks because next Sunday is Father's Day, and we're going to have the same youngsters here in school that we had on Mother's Day, this time competing against their fathers. So our board will be Joel Copperman, Pat Conlon, Naomi Cooks, and Mike Mullen. On Mother's Day, you remember, the mothers won our competitive question session. Next Sunday, we'll have a chance to find out who is smarter, Mother or Dad. It will be an interesting comparison, so plan to be with us, won't you, folks? And now, until next Sunday, this is Joe Kelly dismissing the Quiz Kids class. Goodbye, kids.
Bye, Mr. Kelly.
Mothers, are you having trouble getting your growing children to take their vitamins every day? Try giving them One-A-Day brand multiple vitamin capsules. Each One-A-Day brand multiple capsule contains all the vitamins for which the amount needed for grown-ups and children has been established. What's more, 1 capsule every day is all they take. And One-A-Day brand multiple vitamin capsules are low in cost. A full 2 months supply for only $2. Ask your druggist for one-a-day brand vitamins, good for growing children and adults. Remember, for vitamins the easy way, for vitamins the thrifty way, the brand you want is one-a-day.
Listen to the Quiz Kids every week, and listen to Alka-Seltzer's News of the World every Monday through Friday on most of these NBC stations. This is Bob Murphy speaking.
American Family Cereal presents Let's Pretend. Well, thank you, pretenders, for that nice reception. Gwen, what did you say today's story was going to be? The donkey?
The table and the stick.
Oh, yes. Well, it took all three of us to get that one out, didn't it? And Sybil, who is going to say how we travel?
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. Bob Reddick, tell us how we go.
I vote for a whole herd of elephants.
Well, Bob, a herd of elephants it is. All set, everybody? Yes, that's 1, 2, 3. These elephants for Let's Pretend, and the story of the donkey, the table, and the stick. Up, Jumbo!
Come on,
Come on! Oh, gee, Uncle Bill, I feel as if I'm 10 stories up in the air. No wonder they called this elephant Jumbo.
You said it, Gwen. And you know, pretenders, that name Jumbo is a mighty good word to describe that great big package of cream of wheat that gives you 40 generous servings. It's a real jumbo package, brimming with the smoothest, tastiest breakfast cereal that ever brought you back for a second helping. So eat a better breakfast, feel better all day. Get a better start the cream of wheat way. And keep listening for our special cream of wheat game right after the first act of today's story, The Donkey, the Table, and the Stick. When the Big Dipper was filled with recipes on how to work magic, and a few people knew it, an impatient father and his son dwelt in a neat cottage in a little town. We find them now talking in the village square.
I tell you once and for all, Jack, I won't stand your idle, shiftless ways any longer.
But my ways aren't idle, Father. Just because the kind of work I've chosen doesn't please you, that doesn't...
Good morning, Mrs. Davison.
Yeah.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, Betty Ann, I'm glad to see you. Good morning, Mr. Landis.
Good morning, Jack. Mr. Jameson.
Good morning, Mr. Landis. Good morning, Betty.
What's the trouble, Jack? You look worried.
Jack worried? He's too lazy even to do that.
Why, Jack's a good boy, Mr. Jameson. Not a worker with muscles, perhaps, but I call him very clever with his brain.
And so do I, Father. I think Jack's wonderful.
Thank you, Betty Ann. I think you're wonderful, too.
Better learn to make a living, Jack, before you start making love.
And I'm not ashamed to say before the world that I love Jack. And someday
Someday we're going to be married. Thank you, Betty Ann, for your loyalty and courage.
Is this true, Mr. Landis? Do you mean to say you have given your consent for Betty Ann to marry this worthless fellow?
Yes, that's true. I have agreed that they could marry as soon as Jack can take care of Betty Ann properly.
Good old Dad.
And you, Father. Now that Mr. Landis has agreed, what do you say?
Well, I agree. When and if you can support her properly, you may marry her. If she's not too old and crippled to walk to the church.
I shall hold you to your promise.
Mr. Landis, let's go over to our good friend, the host of the inn. Visit in more pleasant surroundings.
Well, thank you. I shall accept gladly. Goodbye, Jack.
Goodbye, Betty.
Goodbye, Mr. Jameson.
Betty Ann, the time has come when I can't stand this treatment any longer. Father won't try to understand my ambition. I can't go on being humiliated before everyone.
I know, and I don't blame you. But what do you intend to do?
I'll go away, seek my fortune, and then come back to you. Betty Ann, will you wait for me? Will you believe in me and let me come back to you when I can take care of you as I want to?
If it's 100 years, I'll wait.
With your love and faith in me, I will not fail. Bless you, my love, and keep you safe while I'm away.
My boy, your year of labor with me is up today, isn't it?
The year has gone quickly, Madame Dahlia. Have I pleased you? Have I done my tasks well?
Oh, very well, my boy. You've kept your word.
Thank you, Madam.
Jack, in all this time, you've never asked me what I intended to pay for your year's work with us. Why?
Well, you told me you would pay me well, Madam. I believed you, that's all.
Do you believe everybody, Jack?
Oh, I think so. I find people good and honest. Most generally.
I hope you always will. Well, now, come out in the yard. I want to give you your wages.
Oh, my wages out in the yard?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this begins to sound mysterious.
There he is. What do you think of him?
A donkey, Madame Dahlia? What in the world can I do with a donkey?
Well, you don't think that I'd give you just an ordinary donkey for your year's work, do you? Now, listen carefully to me, Jack. Pull his ear. And as you do, say, Bricklebrit. Now watch. Bricklebrit.
Money. Gold coins dropped from his ear.
Right.
My fortune is made, Madame Dahlia. I'm eternally grateful for this magic gift.
Well, now tell me, what will you do?
Well, Madame Dahlia, you've made it possible for me to see my dearest dream come true. I shall return to my home, marry Betty Ann, and give her everything she deserves.
Excellent.
Come on, little Bricklebrit donkey. Your ears are going to be pretty busy for a while. Goodbye, Madam.
Goodbye, Jack. And good luck to you.
Landlord, Mr. Crafty. Where is everyone?
Oh, sir, we didn't know there was a guest. Why, it's Jack Jameson come home.
Right you are, Suzanne. And wanting the best room in the inn.
Father, it's Jack Jameson. Don't you remember him?
Oh, yes, I remember him. So, you're back home after seeking your fortune, eh? And what luck? Oh, a donkey, eh? Is that the best you could do in your year's travels, Jack?
You shall see how well I've done. And now, Mr. Crafty, a dinner of the finest food and the rarest wines the cellars afford.
Oh, show me your money, my friend, before you order our best sweet, our best food, our oldest wine.
Oh, very well. Please, notice. Come here, my little donkey. All right. Bricklebrit. Now, landlord, there's my first payment.
Father, did you see that?
Am I losing my eyesight? Did gold coins really fall from that donkey's ear?
They did indeed. Now then, are you satisfied? How about my food and the sweets?
Oh, yes, sir, right away. The best the inn affords. The suite at the top of the stairs. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I shall go to my room now and change. I won't be very long.
Well, Father, things have certainly changed, haven't they?
It would seem so. And what a fortune in that donkey. Suzanne, I have an idea. Listen to me. You remember the donkey we used to haul wood?
Yes.
It's the same size as this magic one. Now, I'll take this to the stable and bring the other here in its place. Jack won't know the difference. And when he leaves, we'll have the magic donkey with the gold coins, and Jack will have the mangy one from the stable.
Oh, how clever. Of course. Hurry up now, Father, and exchange them before he comes downstairs.
Suzanne.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Jameson?
Suzanne, someone told me they thought they saw my son Jack coming into the tavern.
Yes, Mr. Jameson. Jack has arrived and is upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Father.
Come on, you mangy beast. Oh, how do you do, Mr. Jameson? Your son has just arrived. He brought this little donkey with him, though I can't see what good it is. Jack's idea of riches, probably. At least it's more than he's ever had before. Well, I'm eager to have a look at it.
Hello, Father. I'm glad you've come. And I'm eager to show you that now I can make my own way in the world.
I'll be glad to know it. How have you managed?
I'll show you, Father. And I'm sure that even you will be delighted with my prize. Come here, little donkey. All right. Now, notice, Father. I pull the ear, so. Bricklebrit. What's the matter? I don't understand. Wait a minute, I'll try the other ear. Bricklebrit. Something has happened. His ears don't drop gold and silver coins like they did. What has happened?
Do you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to believe that this mangy donkey's ears were full of money?
Well, Mr. Crafty and Suzanne can tell you I speak the truth. They saw it. Didn't you, landlord?
I saw nothing more than I see now.
Suzanne, you saw it. Tell them the truth.
I don't know what you mean.
Bricklebrit, pull an ear and coins fall out. Try to make a donkey out of me, will you? I'll show you. Here, down. Get out of this town.
All right, Father, I'll go. But 1 year from today, I shall be back. You won't beat me then.
Get out, you fraud, you lazy, deceitful fool. Get out.
Well, Jack, you've been with me a full year today, haven't you?
That's right, sir. And I believe I've mastered the joiner's trade pretty well, haven't I, sir?
You have served me faithfully and honestly, too. And now, what about wages for your year of work?
Well, whatever you say, sir. You told me you would pay me well. And I know your word is good.
Well spoken, son. I am glad that I can pay you with something that money cannot buy. And here it is.
What? A little table? Well, it's pretty, sir. And, well put together, too. Thank you, sir.
This is no ordinary table, Jack. You have only to set it up and say, "Table be covered with food of my choice." And presto, everything that you could desire will be set before you.
Well, then, this is indeed a most unusual table. Thank you, sir. And will it continue to do this? Once before, I was given what seemed to be a magical gift. But it didn't seem to work out that way.
As long as you shall live, it will obey you.
Wonderful. At all events, then, I shall always have enough to eat. Well, sir, I'll be on my way to my home, where a very lovely person waits for me.
Oh, well, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. And, goodbye.
Cream of wheat game time, Uncle Bill. What's on the program for today?
Well, Gwen, it's that all-time favorite, the sound effects game. You all know how it goes. I tell my story, and you come in with sound effects every time I give you the signal. All right, here we go. One morning, a young fellow woke up bright and early. And as he started getting dressed for school, he thought to himself, I wonder what Mom's going to have for breakfast this morning. In fact, he wasn't very excited about breakfast until he heard a noise. He looked out the window, and there, roaring down the street, was a great big red fire engine. Well, that terrific speed and power made him think of enriched 5 minutes cream of wheat. It reminded him of that speed of cooking, that famous get-up-and-go food power. He thought of its blood-building iron, its teeth and bone-building calcium and phosphorus, and appetite-building vitamin B1. And, thinking of his own appetite, he quickly finished dressing, practically flew down the stairs like this, and burst into the kitchen and shouted, "Hey, Mom, got any cream of wheat?" And sure enough, there was a big bowl of smooth, delicious cream of wheat waiting for him at the table. Well, he pitched right in, and in no time at all, he had cleaned up the last tempting spoonful of cream of wheat, grabbed his books, and was off to school faster than a jet-propelled pursuit plane. Yep, that young friend of ours was off to school with that grand and glorious feeling, that happy, heads-up, cream of wheat feeling. And if that sounds like the way you want to start every day, just remember this. For a brighter, happier day at school, make cream of wheat your breakfast rule. It's way up in flavor. It's way down. It's plenty smooth. And now back to our story of the donkey, the table, and the stick. Another year has passed, and Jack Jameson returns to his home. This time, his gift from his employer is a magic table, which at his command is covered with whatever food he desires. As our scene opens, he is entering the tavern of the deceitful Mr. Crafty.
Landlord! Mr. Crafty, Suzanne! Where is everybody?
Well, Master Jack, so you've come back home, eh?
Hello, Jack. Oh, my goodness, how big you've grown, and good-looking, too. This year has changed you a lot. I'm glad to see you.
Thank you. How about a room? Or suite for me, landlord?
Oh, not so fast, my friend. We've not forgotten that donkey of last year. No tricks this time.
Oh, no tricks from me. But, Mr. Crafty, I'd advise you to be on the lookout. I'm afraid there are some very dishonest people here.
Oh, Jack. Now, what about food? It's pretty late. I doubt if I can find anything but cold cuts and salad.
Oh, no cold cuts and salad for me, Suzanne. Let me see what I want. Mushroom soup, a bit of fish, a roast chicken, artichokes and baked potatoes. Green salad would be nice, I think, yeah. And some chocolate cream pie. Yeah, that'll do very nicely.
Will do. It would take a whole day to prepare that order.
Not the way I order. Shall I show you?
I wish you would.
Of course. Show us.
Help me set up this little table here.
All right.
There we are. Now, you watching?
All eyes, friend Jack.
Table be covered with food of my choice. There you are, my friend.
Oh, how perfectly wonderful. Look, Father, everything one can think of in the soup and meats are steaming hot.
Well, Jack, you've a fortune in this little table.
I thought you'd like it. You can give that food to someone who needs it. My father and Betty Ann are coming over to the inn. I want another table of food for them.
Of course, certainly.
So I'll go to my room and freshen up a bit. I won't be but a moment.
Quickly, Suzanne. Get that little table back of the desk.
You mean we're going to take the table as well as the donkey, Father?
Certainly. Help me clear this table of food. Now, hurry up.
All right.
Pile everything on this tray.
Yes, Father.
Quickly before he returns.
There you are. Now what?
Now, put the cloth on. You'll never notice the difference. Quickly now. Here comes Betty Ann and Jack's father.
How do you do, Suzanne?
Good day, landlord. Has my son Jack arrived yet? Oh, here and expecting you, sir.
Oh, how is he?
He's grown and quite good-looking.
Suzanne, tell us more about him.
Well, perhaps you'd better tell them, Father.
Hey, tell them what about?
About the strange way he's behaving.
Oh, yes. Mr. Jameson. Yes? I think I ought to tell you, Jack acts very strangely. I don't know just what it is, but I would say his mind is, shall we say, wavering. Oh, here he is.
Hello, Father. Oh, hello, Betty Ann. Oh, my dear, how glad I am to see you.
And are you, Jack? How big you are. And, Suzanne was right. Why, Jack, you're handsome.
Well, sir, have you done better this year than last?
You shall see, Father. Sit down at the table, everyone, and as we eat, I shall tell you. Here, Betty Ann, you sit next to me. You there, Father. So, little table be covered with food of my choice. What's happened here?
Nothing, as far as I can see. What's supposed to happen?
Well, the table is magic. It should be covered with food by this time.
So, another year and another useless bit of foolishness. Last year, a donkey with gold in his ears. This year, a magic table. And once again, you've made idiots out of all of us.
I believe in you, Jack. I know there's something very wrong, and you're not to blame.
Bless you, Betty Ann. You're right, but I'll bide my time.
Get out and don't come back.
I'll wait, Jack, and I'll always believe in you.
Thank you, Betty Ann. Well, this is very nice of all of you to meet me here at the inn. But where's Betty Ann?
Here I am, Jack. Welcome home.
Well, son, another year has passed.
Oh, yes, Father. Excuse me just a moment, please. Mr. Crafty, Suzanne, come here, please.
Hello, Jack. Glad you're home. Oh, my goodness. You're better looking than ever.
Oh, thanks, Suzanne. But I'm afraid you won't think so in a minute.
Come, Jack. What trade have you learned? And what do you have to show for your year's absence?
I've learned the carpenter's trade, Father. This little stick I carry is my salary. Mr. Crafty?
Yes?
Suzanne?
Yes, Jack?
I have a couple of questions I want to ask you. And I earnestly advise you to think well what you answer. Where is the donkey with ears that drop gold and silver coins?
I told you then, and I tell you now, I never saw such an animal.
Suzanne? Perhaps you know.
Don't make me laugh, Jack. There isn't any such thing.
You're quite sure, Suzanne?
Certainly I'm sure.
I see. Mr. Crafty, where is my magic table that is covered with food at my command?
Oh, I never heard of such a table, idiot.
Did you, Suzanne? Notice the stick I carry and tell the truth. It will be better for you, I warn you.
Oh, don't be idiotic.
All right, Mr. Landlord and your dishonest daughter. You brought it on yourselves. Up stick and beat the life out of them. Stop it! Get away! It's beating me!
Stop!
Make it stop! It's beating me! The donkey and the table. Where are they?
I don't know. Get away! Help me, somebody!
Stop it! Make it stop already!
Up stick and beat the life out of them until they tell the truth. I'll get them. Make it stop. I'll get them. Make it. Very well. Cease, little stick, till I say the word. And I'll get them. And quickly, too.
Suzanne, the table is behind the desk. Get it?
Oh, I'll get it. Don't let the stick hit me again.
And the donkey, Mr. Crafty. Where is it? Quickly.
The donkey is tied just outside the door here.
I'll see. On guard, Magic Stick. Don't let them move. Well, little donkey, come here. All right, we'll see. Bricklebrit. That's better.
Here's the table, Jack.
Thank you, Suzanne. Oh, what a pity you had to be spanked. But little girls shouldn't be dishonest. Now we shall see if this is my magic table. Little table be covered with food of my choice.
Jack, this is wonderful. Why, your fortune is made, son. You'll never want for anything as long as you live.
Betty Ann, my dearest, will you marry me now?
Why, Jack, I promised you I'd wait forever. I loved you always, whether you were rich or poor. You know that.
Oh, my dearest. At last your faith and loyalty can be repaid. And, Betty Ann, you know the secret of the magic stick. If ever I'm not the best and most devoted husband in the world, why, you know what to say. Up stick and beat the life out of Jack.
And now, before we tell you about next week's exciting story, how about it, audience? Give me the last 3 words to this little rhyme. For speedy cooking, you can't beat enriched 5 minutes. You bet. Quick to fix enriched 5-minute cream of wheat cooks to full digestibility, even for babies, in just 5 minutes of boiling. So remember to do this today for sure. Go to your grocer's and ask for cream of wheat. Get a big package of enriched 5-minute all regular cream of wheat. Either one gives you 40 generous servings at a cost of less than a penny a bowl. Remember,
For all the family's breakfast, you can't beat Cream of Wheat.
the pretenders for today were
Gwen Davies,
Jack Jameson,
Jack Ryan,
his father,
Albert Alley,
Betty Ann,
Sybil Trent,
her father, Mr. Landis,
Michael O'Day,
Mr. Crafty, the innkeeper,
Arthur Anderson,
his daughter Suzanne,
Anne-Marie Geyer,
Madame Dahlia,
Miriam Wolfe,
the joiner.
Bob Reddick.
Original music was composed and conducted by Maurice Brown. Let's Pretend was dramatized by Nyla Mack and directed by Albert Ward. Now, if you live in or near New York and you'd like to come down to a broadcast of Let's Pretend, drop a postcard to Cream of Wheat, CBS, New York, for your free ticket. Imagine having to marry the first one you met when you followed an arrow which you had shot into the air. Would you like to marry a frog? Well, that's what our hero, Jan, had to do. Listen next week when we tell you how Jan got out of his trouble and finally won a beautiful princess in the story of the Enchanted Frog. This is Bill Adams saying, remember to eat Cream of Wheat, great American family cereal. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
For the Sunday play, we present The Shoemaker's Holiday by Thomas Dekker. This year may well be the quatercentenary of Dekker's birth. He was born about the year 1570. In this pleasant comedy of the gentle craft, which was first performed at court on the 1st of January in the year 1600, the part of Simon Eyre, the shoemaker, is played by the late Sir Donald Wolfett, who also speaks the prologue. The Shoemaker's Holiday.
To all good fellows, professors of the gentle craft of what degree soever, kind gentlemen and honest boon companions, I present you here with a merry conceited comedy called The Shoemaker's Holiday, as it was acted by my Lord Admiral's players on New Year's Day in the year 1600 before the Queen's most excellent majesty, for the mirth and pleasant matter by her highness graciously accepted. Take all in good worth that is well intended, for nothing is purposed but mirth. Mirth lengtheneth long life, which with all other blessings I heartily wish you. Farewell.
My Lord Mayor.
My Lord Lincoln.
You have sundry times feasted myself and many courtiers more. Seldom or never can we be so kind to make requital of your courtesy. About leaving this, I hear my nephew Lacy is much affected to your daughter Rose.
True, my good lord. And she loves him so well that I mislike her boldness in the chase.
Take heed, my lord. Advise you what you do. A verier unthrift lives not in the world than is my nephew. But I'll tell you what. 'Tis now almost a year since he requested to travel countries for experience. Scant had he journeyed through half Germany, but all his coin was spent, his men cast off, his bills embezzled, and my jolly cuz, ashamed to show his bankrupt presence here, became a shoemaker in Wittenberg. A goodly science for a gentleman of such descent.
And yet your nephew Roland might do well, now he hath learned an occupation.
Aye, but I have a better trade for him.
Oh?
I thank his majesty. He hath appointed him chief colonel of these companies mustered in London and the shires about to serve his highness in these wars of France. See where he comes. Nephew, what news with you?
His Highness will decrees I ship for France with all my powers. He would not for $1 million, but I should land at Dieppe within 4 days. Then, nephew Lacey, in what forwardness are all your company? All well prepared. The men of Hertfordshire lie at Mile End. Suffolk and Essex train in Tothill Fields. The Londoners and those of Middlesex all gallantly prepared in Finsbury, with frolic spirits long for their parting hour.
My Lord of Lincoln, and if it please your nephew Lacey come to the Guildhall, he shall receive his pay. And 20 pounds besides, my brethren will freely give him, to approve our loves we bear unto my lord your uncle here.
I thank your honor. Thanks, my good Lord Mayor.
At the Guildhall we will expect your coming.
Nephew, that 20 pound he doth bestow for joy, to rid you from his daughter Rose. But cousin Lacey, now here are none but friends. I would not have you cast an amorous eye upon so mean a project as the love of a gay, wanton, painted citizen.
But, uncle,
I know this churl, even in the height of scorn, doth hate the mixture of his blood with thine.
I care not.
I pray thee do thou so. Remember, coz, what honourable fortunes wait on thee.
My lord, I will so guide my actions in pursuit of France as shall add glory to the Lacey's name.
Coz, for those words, here's 30 Portuguese.
How gladly would my uncle have me gone.
Stay, cousin. Who be these?
Leave whining, Jane. Leave whining. Away with this whimpering, this puling, these blubbering tears, those wet eyes. I'll get thy husband discharged. I warrant thee, sweet Jane. No, go to.
Master, here be the captain.
Peace, Hodge.
But master,
here be the cavaliers and the colonels,
Peace, Ferg, peace, my fine Ferg. Now stand by with your fishery-bashery away. I'm a man of the best presence. I'll speak to him, and they were popes. Gentlemen, captains, colonels, commanders, brave men, brave leaders. Now may it please you to give me audience. I am Simon Eyre, the mad shoemaker of Tower Street. This wench with the mealy mouth that'll never tire is my wife, I can tell you. Now here's Hodge, my man and my foreman.
Aye, sir.
Here's Ferk, my fine firking journeyman.
Aye, sir.
And this is Blubbered Jane. Now all we come to be suitors for this honest Rafe. Keep him at home. And as I am a true shoemaker and a gentleman of the gentle craft, buy spurs yourself, and I'll find your boots these 7 years.
7 years, husband?
Peace, midriff, peace. I know what I do. Peace.
Truly, Master Colonel, you shall do God good service to let Rafe and his wife stay together.
Let him stay, else shall I be undone.
Truly, my friends, it lies not in my power. The Londoners are pressed, paid, and set forth by the Lord Mayor. I cannot change a man.
Why, then you are as good be a corporal as the colonel if you cannot discharge one good fellow?
Well said, melancholic Hodge. Truly, gentlemen, it were ill done for such as you to stand so stiffly against a poor young wife. She's new married, but let that pass. Her husband is a young man, but newly entered, but let that pass.
Now, away with your pishery-pashery, your polls and your eddy polls. Peace, midriff. Silence, Cecily Bumtrumpet. Peace, scoundrels. Now, you see this man, Rafe? Captains, you will not release him? Well, let him go. He's a proper shot. Let him vanish. Now, peace, Jane. Dry thy tears. They'll make his powder dankish. Take him, brave men. Hector of Troy was an hackney to him. Hercules and Termagant, scoundrels. Prince Arthur's round table, by the Lord of Ludgate, ne'er fed such a tall, such a dapper swordsman. By the life of Pharaoh, a brave, resolute swordsman. Now, peace, Jane. I say no more, mad knaves.
I'm glad, good Master Eyre, it is my hap to meet so resolute a soldier. Is thy name Rafe?
Yes, sir.
Give me thy hand. Thou shalt not want, as I am a gentleman. Woman, be patient. God no doubt will send thy husband safe again, but he must go. His country's quarrel says it shall be so.
Nephew, the Lord Mayor and the aldermen at the Guildhall attend our coming. I do request you with all speed you may to hasten thither.
Come, uncle, let us go. Rafe, hie to your colours.
Alas, my Rafe. Oh, husband, she cannot speak for weeping.
Peace, wife. Now, peace, you cracked groats. Your mustard tokens. Disquiet not the brave soldier. Go thy ways, Rafe.
Aye, you bid him go. What shall I do when he is gone?
Well, be
doing with me or my fellow Hodge? Be not idle.
Now, let me see thy hand, Jane. And this fine hand, this white hand, these pretty fingers must spin, must card, must work. Work, you bombast cotton candle queen. Work for your living with a pox to you. Hold thee, Rafe. Here's 5 sixpences for thee.
Oh, master.
Fight for the honour of the gentle craft, for the gentlemen shoemakers, the courageous cordwainers, the flower of St. Martin's, the mad knaves of Bedlam, Fleet Street, Tower Street, and Whitechapel. Now, crack me the crowns of the French knaves, a pox on 'em. Crack 'em. Fight by the Lord of Ludgate. Fight, my fine boy.
Yea, master, yea.
Here, Rafe. Here's 3 tuppences.
Thank you for...
2 carrying into France. The 3rd shall wash hell souls at part. For sorrow is dry. For my sake, turn the basey mon shoes.
Rafe, I am heavy at parting, but here's a shilling for thee. Oh, thank you, Hodge. God send thee to cram thy slops with French crowns and thy enemies' bellies with bullets. I thank you, master, and I thank you all. Now, gentle wife, my loving, lovely Jane. Rich men at parting give their wives rich gifts, jewels and rings to grace their lily hands. Thou knowst our trade makes rings for women's heels. Here, take this pair of shoes, cut out by Hodge, stitched by my fellow Fert, seamed by myself, made up and pinked with letters for thy name. Wear them, my dear Jane, for your husband's sake. And every morning when thou pullst them on, remember me and pray for my return.
Oh, my Rafe.
I down upon this flowery bank and make a garland for my Lacey's head. These pinks, these roses, and these violets, these blushing gilliflowers, these marigolds, carry not half such beauty in their cheeks as the sweet countenance of my Lacey doth. Oh, my most unkind father, here as a thief am I imprisoned for my dear Lacey's sake within these walls which by my father's cost were builded up for better purposes. Here must I languish for him that doth as much lament, I know, mine absence, as for him I pine in woe.
Good morrow, young Mistress Rose. I'm sure you'll make that garland for me against I shall be lady of the harvest.
Sybil, what news at London?
Oh, none but good.
Well?
My Lord Mayor, your father, yes, and Master Philpot, your uncle,
yes,
and Master Scott, your cousin, and Mistress Sprigbottom by Doctor's Commons do all
yes,
by
yes,
my troth send you most hearty commendations.
Did Lacey send kind greetings to his love?
Oh, yes, at a cry. By my troth, I scant knew him.
What?
Here I wore a scarf, and here a scarf. Here a bunch of feathers, and here precious stones and jewels, and a pair of garters. Oh, monstrous. Like one of your yellow silk curtains at home here in old Ford House, here in Master Bellymount's chamber. Oh. I stood at our door in Cornhill, looked at him. He at me, indeed. Spake to him, but he not to me, not a word.
Oh, Sybil.
Merry gut, thought I, with a wannion. He passed by me as proud, merry foe. You grown humorous, thought I, and so shut the door, and in I came.
Oh, Sybil, how dost thou my Lacey wrong? My Roland is as gentle as a lamb. No dove was ever half so mild as he.
Mild? Yea, as a bushel of stamped crabs.
Oh, Sybil.
He looked upon me as sour as verjuice.
Oh.
Go thy ways, thought I. Thou mayst be much in my gaskins, but nothing in my nether stocks. This is your fault, mistress, to love him that loves not you.
Will my love leave me then and go to France?
I know not that, but I'm sure I see him stalk before the soldiers. By my troth, he's a proper man, but he is proper that proper doth. Let him go snick up, young mistress.
Get thee to London, Sybil, and learn perfectly whether my Lacey go to France or no. Do this, and I will give thee for thy pains my cambric apron, and my Romish gloves, my purple stockings, And a stomacher. Oh, say thou wilt do this, Sybil, for my sake.
Oh, will I, quotha? By my trophy, yes, I'll go. A cambric apron, gloves, a pair of purple stockings, and a stomacher. I'll sweat in purple, mistress, for you. I'll take anything that comes in God's name. Oh, rich, a cambric apron. Oh, faith and habit, up tails all. So sing with me in jollity and leave all cares behind. So sing with me in jollity and up tails all. And up tails all. And up tails up, tails up. Tails off.
In Borfan Gelderland frolic sie ziehen. He was als drank, he couldn't yet stand up. Soll sie gehen? Trab, es die Kanniken, bringt schöne Manniken. How many shapes have gods and kings devised, thereby to compass their desired loves? It is no shame for Roland Lacey, then, to clothe his cunning with the gentle craft, and in the semblance of a Dutch shoemaker, this early morning walk the streets of London, that thus disguised I may unknown possess the only happy presence of my Rose. For her have I forsook my charge in France, incurred the king's displeasure, and stirred up rough hatred in mine uncle Lincoln's breast. But thus it must be. For her cruel father, hating the single union of our souls, did secretly convey my Rose from London to bar me of her presence. But I trust fortune and this disguise will further me once more to view her beauty, gain her sight. Yonder in Tower Street, with Eyre the shoemaker, mean I a while to work. I know the trade. I learnt it when I was in Wittenberg. The gentle craft is living for a man. Was ein Dorf van Gelderland, frolic sie ziehen. He was as drunk he couldn't yet stand up, soll sie bieten. Trab, es sie Kanniken, bringt schöne Manniken.
Where be these boys, these girls, these drabs, these scoundrels? They wallow in the fat brewis of my bounty and lick up the crumbs of my table, yet will not rise to see my walks cleansed. Come out, you powder beef queans. What man? What man's mumble crust? Come out, you fat midriff swag belly whores, and sweep me these kennels, that the noisome stench offend not the nose of my neighbours. What firk, I say? What hodge? Open my shop windows. What firk, I say?
Oh, master. Is it you that speak bandog on Bedlam this morning? Oh, I was in a dream. Mused what madman was got into the street so early. Have you drunk this morning? Yet your throat is so...
Well said, Ferg, well said, Ferg. Now to work, my fine knave, to work, to work. Wash thy face, and thou be more blessed.
I'll let them wash my face at the lead.
Away, you sloven, avaunt, you scoundrel. Good morrow, Hodge. Good morrow, my fine foreman.
Oh, master, good morrow. Oh, you're an early stirrer. He's a fair morning. Good morrow, Ferk. I could have slept this hour. Oh, it's a brave day to walk.
Oh, haste to work, my fine foreman. Haste to work.
Yea, master, yea. Master, I'm as dry as dust with my fellow Hodge talk of fair weather. Let us pray for good leather. Let clowns and ploughboys and those that work in the fields pray for brave days. We work in a dry shop. What care I if it rain?
Cold's the wind and wet's the rain, Saint you be our good speed. Ill is the weather that bringeth no gain, nor helps good hearts to need. Ill is the weather that bringeth no gain, nor helps good hearts in need.
How now, Dame Marjorie? Can you see to rise? Ship and go and call up the drabs you maids.
Lies? I hope 'tis time enough, 'tis early enough for any woman to be seen abroad. I marvel how many wives in Tower Street are up so soon. God's meat is not noon. Here's a yawning.
Peace, Marjorie, peace. Where's Cicely Bumtrinket, your maid? She has a privy fault. She farts in her sleep. Call the queen up. If my men want shoe thread, I'll swinge her in a stirrup.
For life, yonder's a brother of the gentle craft. If he bear not use his bones, I'll forfeit my bones. He's some poplandish workman. Hire him, good master.
Peace, work, a hard world. Let him pass, let him vanish.
Hire him, master, that I may learn some gibble-gabble.
Nay, my fine folk, we've journeymen in now.
Good master, 'twill make us work the faster.
Oh, well, now.
Hey, husband, you best follow your men's counsel. You shall see what will come on. We have not many now, but we must entertain every butterbox. But let that pass.
Shame. For God, if my master follow your counsel, he'll consume little beef. He should be glad of men and he can catch 'em.
Aye, Hodge, that he shall.
Oh, God, a proper man, and I warrant. A fine workman. Master, farewell. Dame, adieu. If such a man as he cannot find work, Hodge is not for you.
No, stay, my fine Hodge.
Faith, if Hodge remove, Furt follows. If St. Eusie's bones shall not be set to work, I may prick mine all in the walls and go play. Yeah, fare ye well, master. Goodbye, Dad.
No, tarry, my fine Hodge, my brisk foreman. No,
stay,
Furt.
Hey, let him go.
Peace, you pudding broth. By the Lord of Ludgate, I love my men as my life.
Oh, let that pass.
Peace, you galley Morphy. Hodge, if he want work, I'll hire him. Now, one of you to him. Oh, stay, he comes to us.
Good and dark, mister.
Here, friend, what's thy name?
Hans Müller.
Well, give me thy hand, that welcome. Hodge, entertain him. Firk, bid him welcome. Come, Hans. Yeah, now, run, wife. Bid your maids, your trolley-bubs, make ready my fine men's breakfast and bring in beer. To him, Hodge.
Hans, thou art welcome.
Danke.
Use thyself friendly, for we're good fellows. If not, thou shalt be fought with, wert thou bigger than a giant.
Aye, and drunk with, wert thou gargantua. My master keeps no cowards, I tell thee. Oh, boy! Bring him in an eel block. Here's a new journeyman.
Quick, snipper, snapper away. Firk, scour thy throat, thou shalt wash it with Castilian liquor. See, now this beer comes hopping in well. Come, give me a can. Now have to thee, Hans. Here, Hodge. Here, Firk. Drink, you mad Greeks, and work like true Trojans, and pray for Simon Eyre the shoemaker. Drink, Hans, and welcome.
And here kindly to thee, they sing a dirge for St. Hugh's soul, and down it merrily. Down a down, hey down a down, hey down a down, down merry. Oh, well done to me, let come, bring comfort, gentle joy. Hey, oh, well done to me, let come. Hey, oh, well, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh.
Simon, it is almost 7.
Is so, Dame Clapperdudgeon.
Yes.
It's 7 o'clock, yes. And my men's breakfast not ready. Trip and go, you soused conger. Away!
Oh!
Come, you mad Hyperboreans. Follow me, Hodge. Follow me, Hans.
Yeah.
Come after me, fine folk.
Right, sir.
And ere your breakfast be ready to work a while. Ya can see. Ya can see.
The game's not far. This way with winged feet he fled from death, whilst the pursuing hound sending his steps find out his highway to destruction. Besides, the miller's boy told me even now that long he could not hold.
Well, if it be so, Cousin Hammond, 'tis best we trace these meadows by Old Ford.
Cousin, let's away. Get up.
Come on.
Why, Sybil, wilt thou prove a forester?
Upon some, no. Forester, go by. No faith, mistress. The deer came running into the barn, through the orchard, and over the pale. I looked as pale as a new cheese to see him. But whip, says Goodman Pinclose, my Lord Mayor shall eat of him anon when he comes.
Hark! Hark, the hunters come. You best take heed. They'll have a saying to you for this deed.
God save you, fair ladies.
Lady, so gross.
Came not a buck this way?
No, but 2 does.
And which way went they? Faith will hunted those.
At those? Upon some, no.
Upon some, aye.
This way he ran indeed, fair Mistress Rose. Our game was lately in your orchard scene.
And can you advise which way he took his flight?
Trust me, not I. He fled some other way.
Which way, my sugar candy, can you show?
Come up, good honey sops, upon some now.
Why do you stay and not pursue your game?
A deer, more deer, is found within this place.
But not the deer, sir, which you had in chase.
I chased the deer, but this deer chaseth me.
The strangest hunting that ever I see.
What? Master Hammond, welcome to Old Ford.
Godspeedikins, hands off, sir. Here's my lord.
I hear you had ill luck, Master Hammond, and lost your game.
'Tis true, my Lord Mayor.
I'm sorry for the same. What gentleman is this?
My brother-in-law.
The Lord Mayor.
You're welcome both. Sith fortune offers you into my hands, you shall not part from hence until you have refreshed your wearied limbs. Go, Sybil, cover the board. You shall be guest to no good cheer, but even a hunter's feast.
I thank your lordship. Cousin, on my life, for our lost venison, I shall find a wife.
Soll you wat zeggen, Hans? Ja? Die schip dat kommen vom Kandy is alles vol bij Gods sacrament van suiker, siewet, almonds, cambric en al dingen. 1000 ding. Neemt dit, Hans. Neemt dit voor uw meester. Daar be de bills van leding. Your meester, Simon Eyre, zal er goed kopen. Wat zeggen je, Hans?
What says the Dutch skipper? What siggin' the riggin' the copen slopen? Laugh, Hodge, laugh.
Mein lieber Bruder Förk, bringt Mr. R to den Sign und Swannekin.
Aye?
The inn of the sign of the Swannekin.
Oh.
There shall you find this Dutch skipper and me. What second you, Brother Förk? Do it, Hodge. Come, skipper.
Ja, we're going.
Bring him into the sign of the swan, quoth he? Here's no knavery. Bring my master to buy a ship worth the lading of 200,000 or 300,000 pounds. Oh, well, that's nothing. A trifle, a bauble, Hodge.
The truth is, Ferry, that the merchant owner of the ship dare not show his head. And therefore, this skipper that deals for him, for the love he bears to hands, offers my master Eyre a bargain in the commodities.
Yea, but can my fellow hands lend my master these 20 porpentines as an earnest penny?
40 goose, I would say. Oh, gold coins. Here they be, Ferk. They tingle in my pocket like some merry old bells.
Mum, here comes me dame and me master. Oh, she'll scold on me life for loitering this Monday. But all's one, let them all say what they can. Monday's our holiday. How's the wind and where's the rain? Thank you be our good speed.
But I be strew your heart up here for this your singing whistle, smart.
Smart for me, Dame. Why, Dame? Why?
Master, I hope you'll not suffer my dame to take down your journeyman.
She take me down, I'll take her up. Yeah, and take her down too. A buttonhole lower.
Peace, not I, Hodge. By the life of Pharaoh, by the Lord of Ludgate, by this beard, every hair whereof I value at a king's ransom, she shall not meddle with her.
Husband,
Peace, you bombast cotton candle queen. Away, queen of clubs. Quarrel not with me and my men, with me and my fine folk. I'll firk you if you do.
Yeah, you may use me as you please, but let that pass.
Let it pass, let it vanish away. Peace. What? Am I not Simon Eyre? Are not these my brave men, brave shoemakers, all gentlemen of the gentle craft? Prince am I none, yet am I nobly born, as being the sole son of a shoemaker. Away, rubbish! Vanish, melt like your kitchen stuff.
Yeah, it is well. I must be called rubbish, kitchen stuff, for a peck of names.
Nay, dame, you shan't weep and wailing woe for me.
Not wrong.
Master, I'll stay no longer. Here's a vanity and me shop closed. Adieu, master. Hodge, farewell.
Nay, stay, Ferg. Thou shalt not go alone.
I pray, let him go. There'll be more maids than Morkin, more men than Hodge, and more fools than Ferg.
Fools? If I tarry now, all me guts might be turned to shoot.
And if I say I pray God I may be turned to a Turk and set in Finsbury for boys to shoot at.
No, stay, my fine knaves, you arms of my trade, you pillars of my profession. What, shall a tittle-tattle's words make you forsake Simon Eyre?
Well, I'll let that pass.
Avaunt, kitchen stuff. Rip your brown-bread tannikin out of my sight. Move me not. And that I tame you from selling tripes in Eastcheap and set you in my shop and made you hail fellow with Simon Eyre the shoemaker. And now do you deal thus with my journeyman? Look, you powder beef queen, on the face of Hodge. Now there's a face for a lord. And look on Master Ferk. Now here's a face for any lady in Christendom. Rip your chitterling avaunt. Boy, bid the tapster of the Boar's Head fill me a dozen cans of beer from my journeyman.
A dozen cans? Oh, brave Hodge. Now I'll stay.
And I.
And boy, if the knave fills any more than two, he pays for them. A dozen cans of beer for my journeyman. Now, hear you, my mad Mesopotamians. Soon you'll wash your livers with this liquor. So to work a while. Ya can see. Ya can see.
Well, ya can see me, let me alone and I come to it.
Well, Master, all this is from the bias. Do you remember the ship my fellow Hans told you of?
Yeah, well.
The skipper and he are both drinking at the Swan. Here be his Portuguese coins to give earnest.
Well?
If you go through with it, you cannot choose but be a lord at least.
You see, Master, we've been bargaining with Skellum Scanderbag. Can you Dutch spec him for a ship of silk cypress laden with sugar candy?
Peace, Ferk. Silence, tittle-tattle. Fella Hodge, I'll go through with it.
Master.
I have here fella Hans's fine coins. Bring me to the sign of the Swannikin.
Guten day, Mr. Eyre. This be the skipper that had the ship van merchandise. The commodity been good. Nehmt it, mister, nehmt it.
God a mercy, Hans. Welcome, skipper. Now, where lies this ship of merchandise?
The ship beating it to leave her. Dobby van Soker, Sievet, almonds, cambric, and 1,000 things. Hot sacrament, nimt it, meester. You shall have goed kopen.
Sweet master, oh, sweet master, sweet wares. Prunes, almonds, sugar candy, carrot roots, turnips, oh, brave fatting meat. Let not a man buy a nutmeg but yourself.
Peace, Ferk. Come, skipper, I'll go aboard with you.
Yo, mister.
Come, Hans, follow me.
Yo, mister.
Skipper, thou shalt have my countenance in the city. And here a velvet coat, and I've sent for my alderman's guarded gown and a damask cassock. See where it comes. Look here, Maggie. Help me, Ferk. Apparel me, Hodge. Silk and satin, you mad Philistines. Silk and satin.
Oh, my master and alderman. You'll be as proud as a dog in a doublet, all in beaten damask and velvet.
Now, softly, Ferk. For rearing of the nap, I'm wearing threadbare my garments. How dost thou like me, Ferk? How do I look, my fine Hodge?
Why, now you look like yourself, master. I warrant you there's few in the city but will give you the wall and come upon you with a right worshipful.
Lord, see what good raiment does. Dame, are you not enough?
How sayest thou, Maggie? Am I not brisk? Am I not fine?
Oh, fine. By me troth, sweetheart, very fine. By me troth, I never liked thee so well in my life, sweetheart. But let that pass. I warrant there be many women in the city of not so handsome husbands, but only for their apparel, but let that pass too.
But come, Dame, I hope you'll chide us no more now that master's alderman.
Oh, no, Ferk. No, Purdy Hodge. I'd feel honour creep upon me. And what's more, a certain rising in me flesh would let that pass. Well, come, I'll go in. Hodge, prithee, go before me. Ferk, follow me.
Ferk doth follow. Hodge, pass out in state.
How now, good Dodger?
What would me Lord of Lincoln?
What's the news from France?
Upon the 18th day of May, the French and English were prepared to fight. Each side with eager fury gave the sign of a most hot encounter.
Yes.
5 long hours, both armies fought together.
Yes.
At the length, the lot of victory fell on our sides.
And Dodger, prithee, tell me, in this fight, how did my nephew Lacy bear himself?
My lord, your nephew Lacy was not there.
Not there?
No, me good lord.
Oh, sure, thou mistakest.
My lord, I am advised that what I speak is true. To prove it so, his cousin Askew, that supplied his place, sent me for him from France, that secretly he might convey himself thither.
Is it even so? Has he despised my love, and spurned those favours which I with prodigal hand poured on his head? Procure the king to crown his giddy brows with ample honours. Send him chief colonel, when all my hope thus to be dashed. Upon my life, I found out his plot. That old dog love that fawned upon him so. Love to that puling girl, his fair-cheeked Rose, the Lord Mayor's daughter, hath distracted him. Dodger, it is so.
I fear so, me good lord.
It is so. Nay, sure it cannot be. I'm at my wit's end. Dodger.
Yea, me lord.
Thou art acquainted with my nephew's haunts. Spend this gold for thy pains.
Oh, sir.
Go seek him out. Watch at my Lord Mayor's. There, if he live, Dodger, thou shalt be sure to meet with him. Prithee, be diligent. Be circumspect.
I warrant you, my lord.
Good Master Dodger, here, good Lord Mayor. Ere you tell me all the news you bring, I will be bold with you to be a witness to a wedding not betwixt young Master Hammond and my daughter. Oh, stand aside. See where the lovers come.
Can it be possible you love me so? No, Master Hammond. Within those eyeballs I espy apparent likelihoods of flattery. Pray now, let go my hand.
Sweet Mistress Rose, I love you by this hand.
Yet, hands off now. If flesh be frail, how weak and frail's your vow.
What? Square they, Master Dodger?
Sir, never doubt. Lovers are quickly in and quickly out.
Sweet Rose, be not so strange in fancying me. Nay, never turn aside. Shun not my sight. If you will love me so, if not, farewell.
Why, how now, lovers? Are you both agreed?
Yes, faith, my lord.
'Tis well. Give me your hand.
Lord.
Give me yours, daughter.
But, Father,
Hello. Both pull back. What means this, girl?
I mean to live a maid.
Will you still cross me, still be obstinate? But Master Hammond, no, if you will have her, I'll make her agree.
Nay, Forced love is worse than hate to me. There is a wench keeps shop in the old change. To her will I. My good Lord Mayor, adieu. Old love for me. I have no luck with new.
Now, Manet, you have well behaved yourself, but you shall curse your coyness if I live. Who's within there?
My lord.
Sybil, see you convey your mistress straight to the old fort.
Oh, no, Father.
I'll keep you straight enough. Go, minion, in. Now, Master Dodger, what's the news you bring?
The Earl of Lincoln, by me, greets your lordship, and earnestly requests you, if you can, inform him where his nephew Lacy keeps.
Is not his nephew Lacy now in France?
No, I assure your lordship, but disguised lurks here in London.
Lurks in London? Well, Master Dodger, you perhaps may start him. Be but the means to rid him into France, I'll give you 12 angels for your pains.
Oh, no.
So much I love his honour, hate his nephew, and prithee, so inform thy lord from me.
I take my leave.
Farewell, good Master Dodger. Lacy in London. I dare pawn my life my daughter knows thereof, and for that cause denied young Master Hammond in his love. Well, I am glad I sent her to Old Ford. God knows, 'tis late. To Guildhall I must hie. I know my brethren stay my company, there to attend the choosing of a sheriff.
That goes too fast for me, Hodge. Oh, Ferk.
Aye, forsooth.
I pray thee, run, do you hear? Run to Guildhall and learn if my husband, Master Eyre, will take that worshipful vocation of Master Sheriff upon him.
Will take it?
Well, I be good, Ferk.
Well, I go, and he should not take it. Ferk swears to forswear him. Yes, forsooth. I go to Guildhall.
They win. Thou art too compendious and tedious.
How rare, Your Excellency's full of eloquence.
Nay, win. Thou wilt make me melancholic.
God forbid your worship should fall into that humour. I ran.
Oh, let me sit down now. Oh. Yes, and you here, Hans.
Yo, mistress.
And you here, Hodge.
Aye, forsooth, dame. Well, mistress, I should say, but the old term so sticks to the roof of my mouth I can hardly lick it off.
Even what thou wilt, good Hodge. Dame is a fair name for any honest Christian. Let that pass. How dost thou, Hans?
Oh, me thank you, Frau.
Well, Hans and Hodge, you see, God hath blessed your master, and purdy, if ever he comes to be Master Sheriff of London, as with all mortal, you shall see, I will have some odd thing or other in the corner for you.
Oh.
I will not be your back friend, but let that pass. And, pray thee, tie my shoe.
I shall, Frau.
Hodge, thou knowest the length of my foot, as it's none of the biggest, so I thank God it's handsome enough. Prithee, let me have a pair of shoes made. Cork, good Hodge, wood heel too.
You shall.
Art thou never acquainted with a farthingale maker, nor a French hood maker?
No.
I must enlarge me bum. How shall I look in a hood, I wonder?
As a cat out of a pillory.
Purdy, oddly, I think.
Oh, very well, I warrant you, mistress.
Yes. It's very hot. Must get me a fan or else a mask.
So you had need to hide your wrinkled face.
Fie upon it, how costly this world's calling is. Purdy, but that it's one of the wonderful works of God, I wouldn't deal with it. Is not Fur come yet?
No, dame.
Hans, be not so sad. Let it pass and vanish, as my husband's worship says.
Oh, ik bin frolic. Let me see you so.
Mistress, will you drink a pipe of tobacco?
Oh, fie upon it, old Purdy. These filthy tobacco pipes are the most idle, slavering baubles that ever I felt. Ugh, out upon it. God bless us, men look not like men that use them.
Why, mistress, look over there.
Where?
It's Jane's husband, fellow Rafe.
Oh.
Why? How now, lame. Oh, Hans, make much of him. He's a brother of our trade, a good workman and a tall soldier.
You be welcome, brother.
Purdy, I knew him not. How dost thou, good Rafe? I'm glad to see thee well.
I would goddamn you saw me as well as when I went from London into France.
Oh. And, Sir Reef, what news? Well, what news in France?
Tell me, good Hodge. First, what news in England? How does my Jane? When didst thou see my wife? Where lives my poor heart? She'll be poor indeed now I want limbs to get whereon to feed.
Limbs? That's all not hands, man. Thou shalt never see a shoemaker want bread, though he may but have 3 fingers on a hand.
Yet all this while I hear not of my Jane.
Oh, Rafe, your wife, Purdy, we know not what's become of her, no. She was here a while, and because she was married, grew more stately than became her. Well, I checked her and so forth, and away she flung, never returned, nor said bye nor bond. So as I tell you, oh, Hodge, she's not come yet.
No, forsooth.
And so as we heard not of her, let that pass. Oh, hands, look if become.
Jo, I shall, Frau.
So as I said...
It's his hands and Ferg.
Oh, mistress!
What?
Hodge! He, that's what it is. Mistress, plug up your looks. Put with your best apparel. My master is chosen. My master is called, nay, condemned by the cry of the country to be sheriff of the city for this famous year now to come. Hurrah! And time now being, a great many men in black gowns were asked for their voices and their hands, and my master had all their fists about his ears presently. And they cried, aye. So I came away. Wherefore, without all other grief, I do salute you, Mistress Shreve.
Ja, my master is the great man, this Shreve.
Did I not tell you, mistress? Now I may boldly say good morrow to your worship.
Good morrow, good Hodge.
Aye?
I thank you, my good people all.
Oh, 5. Oh.
Huh? Hold up thy hand. Here's a threepenny piece for thy tidings.
It's but 3 agnes, I think. Yeah, it is 3 agnes. I smell those.
But, mistress, be ruled by me, and do not speak so puerilely.
Says the worship speaks so, not she. Oh. Now, faith, mistress, speak me in the old key. To it for it. Ply your business, Hodge. I'll fill your bellies with good cheer till they cry twang.
See, my lieber Bruder, here kommt my master.
Master!
Hey,
oh, welcome home, Master Shreve. I pray God continue you in health and wealth.
See here, my Maggie, a chain. A gold chain for Simon Eyre. I shall make thee a lady. Here's a French hood for thee. On with it, on with it. Here, now, dress thy brows with this flap of a shoulder of mutton to make thee look lovely. Where be my fine men?
Here, master.
I'll make over my shop and tools to thee.
Oh, master.
Thou shalt be the foreman.
Oh,
and
foreman.
Hans, thou shalt have 100 for the 20 gold coins thou lent. Be as mad knaves as your master Simaire hath been, and you shall live to be sheriffs of London. How dost thou like me, Marjorie? Prince am I none, yet am I princely born. Burke, Hodge, Hans.
Aye, for what says your worship?
Jo, Master Shreve.
Now worship and honour your Babylonian knaves for the gentle craft. Oh, but I forget myself. Oh, yeah? I'm bidden by the Lord Mayor to dinner to Old Ford. He's gone before and I'm much after. Come, Madge, on with your trinkets. Now, my fine Trojans, my fine Ferg, my dapper Hodge, my honest Hans, some device, some odd crotchet, a Morris or such like, for the honour of the gentleman Shoemaker. Come, Madge, away. Shut up the shop, knaves, and make holiday. Meet me at Old Ford.
Trust me, Master Eyre. You want life, good Mr. Old Ford as I myself.
Truly, I thank your lordship.
Would our bad cheer were worth the thanks you give.
Oh, good cheer, my lord mayor. Fine cheer, fine house, fine walls, all fine and neat.
Now, by my troth, does me good and all my brethren, Such a madcap fellow as thyself is entered into our society.
Ah, but my lord, he must learn now to put on gravity.
Peace, Maggie, a fig for gravity. When I go to Guildhall in my scarlet gown, I look as demurely as a saint and speak as gravely as a justice of the peace. But now I'm here at Old Ford, at my good Lord Mayor's house. Let it go by. Vanish, Maggie. No, I'll be merry. Away with flip-flap. Is what, honey? Prince am I, none yet am I, prince born. What says my Lord Mayor?
I had rather than £1,000 I had an heart but half so light as yours.
Why, what should I do, my lord? A pound of care pays not a dram of debt. No, let's be merry while we're young. Old age, sack and sugar will steal upon us ere we're aware.
Aye, it's well done. Mistress Eyre, pray, give good counsel to my daughter.
I hope Mistress Rose will have the grace to take nothing that's bad.
Pray God she do. Very faith, Mistress Eyre, keep still crosseth me.
Father.
There came of late a proper gentleman of fair revenues, whom gladly I would call my son-in-law. But my fine Cockney would have none of him.
Oh, but...
Rose, you'll prove a coxcomb ere you die. A courtier or no man must please your eye.
Oh, be ruled by me, sweet Rose.
Yes, Master Eyre.
That right for the man. Marry not with a boy that has no more hair on his face than thou hast on thy cheeks. A courtier, says your father. Wash. Go by. Now, stand not up and pishery-pashery. Those silken fellas are but painted images. Outsides, Rose. Now, their inner linings are torn. No, my fine mouse. Marry me with a gentleman grocer like my Lord Mayor, your father. A grocer's a sweet trade. Plums. Had I a son or daughter should marry out of the generation and blood of the shoemakers, he should pack. What? The gentle trade is a living for a man through Europe, through the world.
What noise is this?
Oh, my Lord Mayor, a crew of good fellows that for love to your honour are come hither with a Morris dance. Come in, my Mesopotamians, cheerily. My Mesopotamians.
Master Eyre, are all these shoemakers?
All cordwainers, my good Lord Mayor, that now do leave their dancing for a song.
Oh, the month of May, the merry month of May, so frolic, so gay, and so green, so green, so green. Oh, and then did I unto my true love say, sweet Rose, thou shalt be summer's queen. Now the nightingale, the pretty nightingale, the sweetest singer in all the forest wide, richly sing Rose, to hear thy flower sail. Oh, yonder she sitteth, her breast against the brine. But oh, I spy the cuckoo, the cuckoo, the cuckoo. See where she sitteth. Come away, my joy, come away, I pray thee. I do not like the cuckoo should sing where my rose and I kiss and toy. Oh, the month of May, the merry month of May, so frolic, so gay, and so green, so green, so green. Oh, and then did I unto my true love say, sweet Rose, but my summer's queen.
How like my Lacey looks yon shoemaker that sang alone. For his sake, whose fair shape thou representst, good friend, Dutch shoemaker, I drink to thee.
Ik bedanke, good master.
I see, Mistress Rose, you do not want judgment. You have drunk to the properest man I keep.
There be some of them there parts to be as proper as they.
Tis true indeed. Sybil, go fetch some wine to make these drink. Good fellows, now go in and taste our cheer. Come, Master Eyre, let's have your company.
Cheerily, folk, tickle it hands, and all for the honour of shoemakers.
Why, Sybil, what shall I do?
Why, what's the matter?
That Hans, the shoemaker, is my love, Lacey, disguised in that attire to find me out. How should I find the means to speak with him?
What, mistress, never fear. I dare venture my maidenhead to nothing. And that's great odds that Hans the Dutchman, when we come to London, shall not only see and speak with you, but in spite of all your father's policies, steal you away and marry you. Will not this please you? Away then, and up tails all! So sing with me in jollity and leave all cares behind, and follow your father, lest your absence cause him to suspect something. And sing with me in jollity and up tails all, and up tails all, and up tails all.
Yonder the seamster's shop. And there my fair Jane sits, plying her needle as she sings. She's fair and lovely, but she is not mine. Oh, would she were. I am infortunate. I still love one, yet nobody loves me. I muse in other men what women see that I so want. Fine Mistress Rose was coy, and Jane too chaste. And for she thinks me wanton, she denies to cheer my cold heart with her sunny eyes. It doth me good to stand unseen to see her. I oft have stood in frosty evenings, a light burning by her, enduring biting cold, only to eye her. Muffled I'll pass along, and by that try whether she know me.
Sir, what is to buy? What is to lack, sir? Calico or lawn, fine cambric shirts or bands, what will you buy?
That which thou wilt not sell. Faith, yet I'll try. How do you sell this handkerchief?
Oh, Master Hamill. Good cheap.
And how these ruffs?
Cheap, too.
And how this band?
Cheap, too.
All cheap. Sell you then this hand?
It's so much cost. Let go my hand.
I will do any task at your command. I would let go this beauty, were I not enjoined to disobey you by a power that controls kings. I love you.
So, now part.
With hands I may, but never with my heart. In faith, I love you.
I believe you do.
Shall a true love in me breed hate in you?
Oh, I hate you not.
Then you must love.
I do. What are you better now? I love not you.
Ah, Jane.
But pressed was he to these bitter wars in France.
My husband pressed for France. What was his name?
Rafe Damport.
Damport?
Aye.
Here's a letter sent from France to me. It doth contain the names that have been slain in every fight.
Your nephew Lacey went to France. I have not seen him.
Trust me, Sir Roger Oakley. Here I did hope to find him in your house.
Lodge in my house, say you? I let you know how careful I have been to keep my daughter free from all conference or speech of him.
Oh, Lord, help for God's sake my mistress. Oh, my young mistress.
Where is thy mistress? What's become of her?
She's gone. She's fled.
Gone? Whither is she fled?
I know not, forsooth. She's fled out of doors with Hans, the shoemaker. I saw them scud piece to piece.
Fled with a shoemaker? Can this be true?
Oh, Lord, sir, as true as God's in heaven.
I love Turn Shoemaker. I am glad of this.
A Fleming, Butterbox, a shoemaker? Will she forget her birth, requite my care with such ingratitude? Scorns she young Hammond to love a honeykin, a needy knave? Well, let her fly, I'll not fly after her. Let her starve if she will, she's none of mine.
Be not so cruel, Sir Roger.
I'll not account of her as of my child. Was there no better object for her eyes but a foul, drunken lubber, swillbelly, a shoemaker? Oh, that's brave.
Aye, sir, 'tis a very brave shoe, and as fit as a pudding.
Aye. How now, what knave is this? From whence comest thou?
No knave, sir. I am Firk the shoemaker, lusty George's chief lusty journeyman, and I come hither to take up the pretty leg of sweet Mistress Rose, and thus hoping your worship is in as good health as I was at the making thereof, I'll bid you farewell. Yours, Firk. Save. Oh, so bob them know my master ere is Lord Mayor.
Lord Mayor?
Yea, by death a certain alderman, Lord Mayor of London.
Tell me, sir, knowst thou one Hans, a shoemaker?
Hans Shoemaker. Oh, yes, stay. Yes, I have him. I'll tell you what, I'd speak it in secret. Mistress Rose and he, by this time, no, not so, but shortly, ought to come over one another with, can you dance the shaking of the sheets?
Where are they to be married? Dost thou know the church?
I never go to church, but I know the name of it. It is a swearing church. Oh, by my faith. That 'tis. By my faith church, under Paul's cross.
Upon my life, my nephew Lacey walks in the disguise of this Dutch shoemaker.
Aye, mine misgives me now, 'tis so indeed.
My nephew speaks the language, knows the trade.
Let me request your company, my lord. Together we'll refrain their headstrong rashness.
You must rise betimes, for they mean to fall their parsonry past pindy-pandy. Which hand will you have very early?
My lord of Lincoln, this night accept your lodging in my house. The earlier shall we stir, and at St. Faith's prevent this giddy harebrained nuptial. Yes. This traffic of hot love shall yield cold gains. They ban our loves, and we'll forbid their bans.
Ah, here's no craft in the gentle craft. It's soft now. These two girls will be at St. Faith's Church tomorrow morning to take Master Bridegroom and Mistress Bride napping. And they, in the meantime, shall chop up the matter at the Savoy. But the best sport is, Sir Roger Oatley will find my fellow lame Rafe's wife going to marry a gentleman, and then he'll stop her instead of his daughter. Oh, brave, there will be fine tickling sport.
Come, fear nothing. Am not I Simair? Is not Simair now Lord Mayor of London? Fear nothing, Hans. This is the morning, say my bully, my honest Hans, is it not?
This is the morning that must make us too happy or miserable. Therefore, if you...
Away with these ifs and ands, Hans, and these et ceteras. By mine honour, Roland Lacey, none but the king shall wrong thee. Come, fear nothing, Rose. Let them all say what they can, dainty. Come thou to me. Laughs thou?
Oh, good, my lord. Stand her friend in what thing you may.
Why, my sweet Lady Maggie, think you Simon here can forget his fine Dutch journeyman? No, va. Fie, I scorn it. It shall never be cast in my teeth that I was unthankful. Lady Maggie, that's never covered thy Saracen's head with his French flap, nor loaden thy bum with his farthingale. 'Tis trash, trumpery vanity. Simon Eyre had never walked in a red petticoat, nor worn a chain of gold, but from a fine journeyman's coins. And shall I leave him? No. Prince am I none, yet bear a princely mind.
My lord, 'tis time for us two to part from hence.
Lady Maggie, now take you 2 or 3 of my pie crust eaters, my buff jerkin varlets, that do walk in black gowns at Simon Eyre's heels. Take 'em, good Lady Maggie. Trip and go, my brown queen of periwigs, with my delicate Rose and my jolly Roland to the Savoy. See them linked, countenance the marriage, and when it's done, cling together, you Hamborough turtle doves. I'll bear you out Come to Simon Eyre. Come, dwell with me. Hans, thou shalt eat mince pies and marchpane. Rose away, cricket.
Good,
Trip
Master
and
Eyre.
go, my Lady Maggie, to the Savoy. Hands, wed and to bed. Kiss, kiss and away. Go, vanish.
Farewell, my lord.
Make haste, sweet love.
She'd fain the deed were done.
Come, my sweet Rose, faster than deer we'll run.
Go, vanish, vanish. Avaunt, I say. By the Lord of Ludgate, it's a mad life to be a Lord Mayor. It's a stirring life, a fine life, a velvet life, a careful life. Well, Simon Eyre, yet set a good face on it in the honour of St. Hugh. Soft, this day, my fellow prentices of London, come to dine with me. They shall have fine cheer, gentlemanlike cheer. I promised the mad Cappadocians, when we all served at the conduit together, that if ever I came to be Mayor of London, I would feast them all. And I'll do it. I'll do it by the life of Pharaoh. By this beard, Simere will be no flincher. Besides, I've procured that upon every Shrove Tuesday, at the sound of the pancake bell, my fine dapper Assyrian lads shall clap up their shop windows and away. Boys, that day are you free. Let masters care, and prentices shall pray for Simon Eyre. This is the day, and this day they shall do it. They shall do it.
Come, Rafe, stand to it firm. My masters, as we are the brave bloods of the Shoemakers, heirs apparent to St. Hugh and perpetual benefactors to all good fellows, Rafe shall have no wrong.
And as for Master Ammon, neither Ammon nor hangman shall wrong thee in London, Rafe.
No.
Is not our old Master Eyre Lord Mayor? Speak, my heart.
Hammond shall ride to his peace before his peace. Yonder they come.
Stand toot, my heart. First, let me speak first.
No, Rafe, let me. Ammon, whither away so early?
Unmannerly rude slave, what's that to thee?
To him, sir? Yes, sir, and to me, and others.
Aye.
Good morrow, Jane. How dost thou?
Villains, hands off! How dare you touch my love?
Hold me heart! Hold! Touch her, Hammond. Yea, and more than that. We'll carry her away with us. My masters and gentlemen, never draw your bird spits. Shoemakers are steel to the back. Men, every inch of them. All spirit.
Well, and what of all this?
I'll show you. Jane, dost thou know this man? 'Tis Rafe, I can tell ye. Nay, 'tis he in faith, though he be lame by the wars. Yet look not strange round to him, folding about the neck and kissing.
Lives then my husband.
Thou seest he lives. Come, lads, pack home with him.
Stay! Who comes here?
Yonder's a lying varlet Moctasoe.
Come hither, sirrah.
Aye, sir. I am sirrah. You mean me, do you not?
Where is my nephew married?
Is he married? God give him joy. I'm glad of it. They have a fair day.
Villain, thou toldst me that my daughter Rose this morning should be married at St. Faith's. We have watched there these 3 hours at the least, yet see we no such thing.
Truly, I am sorry for it. A bride's a pretty thing.
Come to the purpose. Here are the bride and bridegroom you look for, I hope.
What? Have I found your minion?
And sounds, what mean you? Are you mad? I hope you cannot enforce my wife from me.
Your wife?
Yea, my wife, and therefore the proudest of you that lays hands on her first, I'll lay my crutch across his pate.
To him, lame Rafe. Here's bright sport.
Aye.
Sir Roger Oakley,
Is this your daughter?
No, nor this your nephew. My Lord of Lincoln, we are both abused by this base crafty varlet.
Yea, forsooth, no varlet, forsooth, no base, no crafty neither, but of the gentle craft.
Villain, I'll have thee punished for this wrong.
Me lords, I come to bring unwelcome news. Your nephew Lacy and your daughter Rose, early this morning wedded at the Savoy.
No.
None being present but the Lady Mayoress. Besides, I learnt among the officers, the mayor vows to stand in their defence against any that shall seek to cross the match.
But I'll prevent him. Come, Sir Roger Oakley. The king will do us justice in this cause.
Farewell, fool!
This matter is answered. Come, Rafe, home with thy wife. Come, me fine shoemakers, let's to our masters, the new Lord Mayor, and their swagger this Shrove Tuesday. I promise you wine enough, for Madge keeps the cellar.
That is a good thing.
And I'll promise you meat enough, for simpering Susan keeps the larder. Unlifted the victuals, me brave soldiers, follow your captain. Oh, brave. Hark! Hark! The pancake bell rings. The pancake bell! Open the doors, my hearts. Shut up the windows. Keep in the house. Let out the pancakes. Oh, rare my hearts. Now, let's march together for the honour of St. Jude to the great new hall in Gracious Street corner, which our master, the new Lord Mayor, hath built.
All the crew of good fellows and prentices that march to dine at my Lord Mayor's cost today.
Oh, musical bells, still. Oh, Hodge, oh, my brethren, there's cheer for the heavens. Venison pasties walk up and down, cutting up like sergeants. Beef and brewies come marching in dry pats. Fritters and pancakes come trowling in wheelbarrows. Hens and oranges hopping in porters' baskets. Collops and eggs in scuttles. And tarts and custards come quavering in malt shovels. Oh, march fair, my hearts. Oh, rare.
Come, my fine lodge, with jolly gentlemen shoemakers.
Soft, where were these cannibals, these varlets, my officers?
Let them all walk and wait upon my brethren, the prentices of London.
Oh, my lord, it'll be rare.
Now, Lady Maggie.
Oh, the king's most excellent majesty's new come.
Is my sovereign come? Vanish, my tall shoemakers, my nimble brethren. Look to my guests, the prentices. Stay a little now. And now, hands, how looks my little Rose?
Let me request you to remember me. I know your honour easily may obtain free pardon of the king for me and Rose, and reconcile me to my uncle's grace.
Have done, my good hands, my honest journeyman. Look cheerily. I'll fall upon both my knees till they be as hard as horn, but I'll get thy pardon.
Good my lord, have a care what you speak to his majesty.
Away, you islings and white pot. Hence, you hopper ass. You barley pudding full of maggots. You broiled carbonado. Avoid Mephistopheles. Shall Sim ere learn to speak of you, Lady Maggie? Vanish, Mother Miniver Cap. Vanish, go. Trip and go. Meddle with your partlets and your pishery-pashery, your flues and your whirligings. Go rub. Go out of mine alley. Simer knows how to speak to a pope, to Sultan Suleiman, to Tamburlaine anywhere here. And shall I melt? Shall I droop before my sovereign? No. My dear liege, Sim-Air and my brethren, the gentlemen shoemakers, shall set your sweet majesty's image cheek by jowl by St. Hugh for this honour you've done poor Simon Eyre.
Tell me, faith, Maria, how old art thou?
My liege, a very boy here, a stripling, a younker. You see not a white hair on my head, nor a grey in this beard. Every hair, I assure thy majesty, that sticks in this beard, Simair values at the king of Babylon's ransom. Tamacham's beard was a rubbing brush to it, yet I'll shave it off and stuff tennis balls with it to please my bully king.
But all this while I do not know your age.
My liege, I am 56 years old, yet I can cry with a sound heart for the honours and hue. Mark this old wench, my king. I danced the shaking of the sheets with her 36 years ago. And yet I hope to get 2 or 3 young Lord Mayors ere I die. Oh, I'm lusty still, Simair still. Care and cold lodging brings white hairs. My sweet majesty, let care vanish. Cast it upon thy nobles. It will make thee look always young like Apollo, and cry, "Vum!"
My gracious lord.
Lincoln, what news with you?
My gracious lord, have care unto yourself, for there are traitors here.
Traitors in my house? God forbid. Where be my officers? I'll spend my soul ere my king feel harm.
Where is the traitor, Lincoln?
Here he stands, my nephew, Roland Lacey.
Lincoln, speak. What canst thou lay unto thy nephew's charge?
This, my dear liege, your grace to do me honour heaped upon the head of this degenerous boy desertless favours. You made choice of him to be commander over powers in France. But
Good Lincoln, prithee pause a while. I know how Lacey did neglect our love. 'Twas not a base want of true valour's fire that held him out of France, but love's desire.
I will not bear his shame upon my back.
Nor shalt thou, Lincoln. I forgive you both.
Then, good my liege, forbid the boy to wed one whose mean birth will much disgrace his bed.
Are they not married?
No, my liege, we are.
Shall I divorce them, then? You hear them, Lincoln?
Yea, my liege, I do.
Yet canst thou find it to the heart to part these two? Who seeks besides you to divorce these lovers?
I do, my gracious lord. I am her father.
Sir Roger Oakley, our last mayor, I think.
The same, my liege.
Would you offend love's laws? Well, you shall have your wills. Soft, let me see. You are both married, Lacey. Then, upon thy life, I charge thee not to call this woman wife.
Oh, my most gracious lord, I kneel to thee.
Nay, Rose, this bridegroom cannot be your bride.
Oh, my liege.
Are you pleased, Lincoln?
Yes,
Oakley, are you pleased?
Yes, my lord.
Then must my heart be eased. For, credit me, my conscience lives in pain till these whom I divorced be joined again. Lacey, give me thy hand.
My liege.
Rose, lend me thine.
Sir.
Be what you would be.
Oh.
Kiss now.
Rose.
Roland.
So, that's fine. At night, lovers to bed. Now, let me see. Which of you all mislikes this harmony? What says my mad Lord Mayor to all this love?
Oh, my liege, this honour you've done to my fine journeyman here, Roland Lacey, and all these favours which you've shown to me this day in my poor house will make Simon Eyre live longer by 12 of warm summers more than he should. Now, my mad knaves, peace, speak softly. Yonder is the king.
God save you,
Mad Simon, would they anything with us?
Mum, mad knaves, not a word. I'll do it. I warrant you, I'll do it. They are all beggars, my liege, all for themselves, and I for them all. On both my knees do entreat your grace would vouchsafe to taste of a poor banquet that stands sweetly waiting for your sweet presence.
There I will taste of thy banquet, and will say, I have not met more pleasure on a day.
That was The Shoemaker's Holiday, or A Pleasant Comedy of the Gentle Craft by Thomas Dekker, who may well have been born 400 years ago this year. The part of Simon Eyre, the shoemaker who became Lord Mayor of London, was played by the late Sir Donald Wolfett. The former Lord Mayor, Sir Roger Oatley, was played by Felix Felton. Sir Hugh Lacy, Earl of Lincoln, by Philip Lever, and his nephew, Roland Lacy, by Dennis Quilley. Marjorie, Eyre's wife, was played by Vivian Chatterton. Hodge, Eyre's foreman, by Charles Leno. His journeyman, Firk, by Geoffrey Matthews, Rafe, by John Brining, and Rafe's wife, Jane, by Eva Haddon. Rose Oatley was played by Janet Richer. Her maid, Sybil, by Betty Bascom. Master Hammond, by Alistair Duncan. Master Warner, by Godfrey Kenton. A Dutch Skipper, by George Merritt. Dodger, a servant to the Earl of Lincoln, by Dennis Gosher. The Serving Man, by Anthony Vickers, and The King, by Charles Simon. The music was composed by John Hotchkiss and played by the Welbeck Orchestra, leader Vera Kantrovich, conducted by the composer. The Shoemaker's Holiday was adapted for radio and produced by Raymond Rakes.
The Quiz Kids, brought to you by the makers of Alka-Seltzer. Alka-Seltzer for headache. Alka-Seltzer for acid indigestion. Alka-Seltzer for cold discomfort. Yes, when these occasional ailments make you miserable, take Alka-Seltzer for really fast, really effective relief.
Attention, Quiz Kids. Here's today's first question. What popular American dessert would you get if you joined up the last name of a leading 1948 pitcher of the Cleveland Indians with the nickname of the 1927 third baseman of the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Yes, there it is. And are you folks at home up on your baseball enough to answer that question? Well, we'll soon find out how the youngsters here in our classroom make out, for here they are, the Quiz Kids and the chief quizzer himself, Joe Kelly.
Bob Murphy, and hello, everyone. Friends, we have a very important guest for you to meet this afternoon, Mr. Roy Fisher, the winner of the Quiz Kids Best Teacher Contest for 1948. The group of youngsters here in our schoolroom have already met this young man, for yesterday, along with their brothers and sisters, they went with our best teacher for a plane ride over Chicago. The children tell me that the big Delta airliner they were in was really something, and they're still plenty excited over having been made honorary pilots. Now, this afternoon, Mr. Fisher is to receive his $2,500 scholarship award, which is the first prize in our Best Teacher Contest, from the chairman of the board of the Miles Laboratories, Mr. Charles S. Beardsley. So, let's get busy, children, and get our schoolwork underway. Here we go with roll call. Joel?
I'm Joel Kupperman. I'm 12 years old in the departmental in the Volta School.
Lonnie?
I'm Lonnie Lundy. I'm 12 years old and in the 7th grade at Lincoln School in Park Ridge, Illinois.
David?
I'm David Freifelder. I'm 12 years old and in 8th grade at West School in Waukegan, Illinois.
Mark?
I'm Mark Mullins. I'm 7 years old and in 2nd grade at the University of Chicago Laboratory School.
And Helen?
I'm Helen Jasper. I'm 13 years old and I'm in graduating class at Joyce Clinic School.
And now, kids, let's straighten out that first question from Hilding E. Peterson of Birchdale, Minnesota. What popular American dessert would you get if you joined up the last name of a leading 1948 pitcher of the Cleveland Indians with the nickname of the 1927 third baseman of the Pittsburgh Pirates? We have two hands up. Lonnie's hand was first.
Well, the leading pitcher of the 1948 Indians is Lemon, and the nickname of the 1927 third baseman of the Pirates is Pie Trainer, so that'd be Lemon Pie.
Lemon Pie, that's good, Lonnie. Yes, sir. Oh, boy, say, you really got that one quick. Yes, that's fine. That right answer gives us a good start on today's schoolwork. And it gives Hilding E. Peterson of Birchdale, Minnesota, one of the finest portable radios on the market today, a Zenith Transoceanic Standard Shortwave portable in a good-looking luggage case. You know, friends, it's easy to win one of these radios. You send in your question, and if the Quiz Kids answer it correctly, Alka-Seltzer sends you one of these fine Zenith portable radios. If the Quiz Kids miss, you get a big Zenith radio phonograph combination with automatic record changer, the new Cobra tone arm, 2 FM bands, a truly magnificent set. So get busy on those questions. Send them to Quiz Kids, Chicago. Well, here we go now. More questions. With schools closing this time of year all over the country, Mrs. C.T. Bryant of Houston, Texas, reminds us that there are many happy young folks receiving graduation gifts. If you children were selecting graduation gifts and could choose anything mentioned in a song title, what gifts could you find? Lonnie?
Well, this would be probably graduation for college. The song I'm thinking of was Put That Ring on My Finger.
Put that ring on my finger. How does that go, Lonnie?
Put that ring on my finger by that golden wedding band.
That's fine. That's all right, Lonnie. Here. All right. Now, let's see. Got some more hands up here. Little Mark. All right, Mark.
Ring around the rosy.
Ring around another ring. That's right. And Joel?
And roses.
This is indirect, sort of, but now is the hour, so I'd take a watch.
How do you like that? That's cute. That's a dandy, Joel. And Helen?
If I was graduating from kindergarten, I would get a paper doll.
A paper doll. That's another good one, too. David?
Well, there's a song, onesie, twosies, I love yousie, and that has a lot of numbers in it. It could have 4, and I'd like a plate blocker, $5 stamp is worth for $20, and a block is 4.
Oh, well, what do you know about that? Yes, sirree. And Mark has another one.
Golden slippers. You could give them golden-colored slippers.
That's right, a pair of golden slippers. Okay. And Lonnie?
We're in the money.
We're in the money, yeah.
So you could give them money, and also, so there's a song that's wonderful. That could mean almost anything that the recipient would be glad to get.
Yeah, the recipient, yes. Oh, yes, sure. Uh-huh. Well, all right, those were all very fine kids, so let's get along here now. Here's a question from Herbert Hoover of Carroll, Iowa. If you youngsters were on a picnic and sat on a pharmacary, would you be comfortable? Mark?
I would not.
Why would you not be comfortable?
Because a fumacary is an anthill.
That's just what it is, an anthill, and there would be ants there. Since 1948 is an election year, H.H. Leland of Waterloo, Iowa, wonders if you children could name the last 3 presidents elected in a year ending with 8. Lonnie?
Well, 1948, this is 1938, there was no one elected, but in 1928, let's see, that would be Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoover, 1928.
Herbert Hoover, and then there was none in 1918, but in 1908, it was William Howard Taft.
That's right.
And then there was none in 1898, but in 1888, let's see, that would be Grover Cleveland.
No. Sorry? Joel?
It'd be Benjamin Harrison.
Benjamin Harrison is right. That's the last 3 presidents elected in the year ending with 8. Now, before we consider this next question, children, here's Bob Murphy with a question.
Have you had a headache lately? Think back. How about yesterday, or the day before, or maybe this morning? Or did someone in your family have one? Well, when headache causes discomfort, the thing to do is reach for the Alka-Seltzer. Yes, that's the way to help yourself to fast, welcome relief. Now, you probably keep Alka-Seltzer on hand at your house for prompt relief from the distress of occasional acid indigestion. And you know how effective and dependable it can be. And, friends, it's just as effective for occasional headache pain. Try it, and you'll agree there's nothing quite like Alka-Seltzer for fast headache relief. There's a good reason for this fast action, too. Alka-Seltzer is completely dissolved before you take it. So its pain-relieving agent, sodium acetyl salicylate, is ready to go right to work, ready to bring you the fast relief you want. So remember, when headache causes grief, misery can be brief. Take Alka-Seltzer for relief.
All right, children, here we go with more questions. Oh, we got a lot of them this afternoon. Andy Worth of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, wants you to pretend that you work at Oak Ridge and are so used to talking in code that when you drop into a restaurant, you order your beverage by using the symbols of chemical elements. What beverage would you expect the waitress to bring if you said you wanted the symbol for tellurium and argon? David?
T-E, so it would be tea.
Well, you didn't clear up the other one here. T-E is the symbol for tellurium. How about argon? Joel?
A, so it would be tea.
It would still be T-E-A. That's right. I just wanted to bring out the other one there. What beverage would the symbols for the following spell? Cobalt, calcium, carbon, oxygen, lanthanum. David?
Well, what was the third and fourth one? I didn't get.
Third and fourth, carbon, oxygen. Cobalt, calcium, carbon, oxygen, lanthanum. Lonnie.
Well, cobalt, I believe, is... Well, wait a second. Oxygen is O, and carbon is Ca.
What'd you give me for cobalt?
Well, I didn't give that. I'm coming back to that.
Oh, I see.
And lanthanum is La. So, let's see, that would end C-O... Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, that's it. That's right, yes, sir. Cobalt, CO, calcium, Ca, carbon, C, oxygen, O, and lanthanum, La. Coca-Cola. Well, let's don't pause any more right here. Let's get along here. I guess almost everyone has his garden planted now, and the next thing to worry about will be fighting garden pests. But Mrs. F.L. Zoldak of University Heights, Ohio, tells us that certain birds are a great help in fighting specific pests. Now, can you mention any of these birds that help the gardener and tell what kind of insect or pest they eat? David?
Well, the cardinal is one of them, and that eats... It eats it's some plants that eats it's some insect that eats the sap of the plants. I think it eats the appleworm, and
You're not quite sure, though, huh?
No, I'm not quite sure.
I see.
Which one is...
Well, let's see. Mark has his hand up. Mark?
The cardinal eats beetles with hard shells, but some birds can't crack the shells.
Yeah, right.
And then the sparrow eats weed seeds that would be bad for the garden.
Yeah, well, that's right. Of course, we're talking about, really talking about insects. Lonnie?
Well, this isn't exactly an insect either. The blue jay, eats insects that are harmful to the crops. I'm not sure which, though. And the robin, I believe, eats the appleworm, but of course that isn't an insect.
Well, let's see. Joel?
Well, if you had trees, then you'd want the woodpecker because it eats the insects that feed on the trunk of the tree.
That's right, Mark?
The orioles eat furry caterpillars. Most birds are scared to eat them because they're afraid the fur will get caught in the bill.
Yeah. That's cute. But they eat them just the same, don't they, from time to time? All right, Mark.
Purple mountain eats gnats and mosquitoes that would keep you from enjoying your garden.
Yeah, that's right. Lonnie?
Well, someone was talking about woodpeckers also. Well, I guess it's a member of the woodpecker family, but the flicker would eat insects from the bark of the tree. And I believe a nuthatch also does.
Yeah, and Mark?
The flicker eats ants that bring up the sand, and the sand is very bad for a garden.
Oh, I see. Then the flicker would be comfortable sitting on a formicary.
Would be.
All right, well, fine, kids. Those were all very, very good. Let's see what we can do with this next one. Lawrence Sperlin of Lafayette, Georgia, says that the expression the Big Four has been applied to a number of important things from railroads to political leaders. He wants you to identify these groups of four from their first names alone. Now listen closely. George, Vittorio, David, and Thomas. Joel.
That'd be the Big Four at the World War. After World War I, it'd be David Lloyd George, I believe, George Clemenceau, Victoria Orlando, and Thomas Woodrow Wilson.
That's right, Joel. Nice choice. Oh, boy. You know, I just had a hunch that you kids weren't going to get that, but you certainly did. See what you can do with this next one. What group of four is this? Jim, Harry, Elmer, and Don. Jim, Harry, Elmer, and Don. Joel.
Those were the Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen, that's right, of Notre Dame. Right. Can you give me their names? Their full names?
Well, I don't know which is which, but...
Jim, what's his name?
Jim, I believe, is Crowley.
Harry?
Harry is Stu Drale.
Yes, Drale.
And Elmer is Layden.
Layden, and Don?
And Don is, I believe, Miller.
Miller, right. That's right, Now, if you quiz kids like berries and cream as well as you liked my birthday cake last week, you won't have any trouble with this question from Thea Tao of Red Cliff, Iowa. Our organist, Howard Peterson, will play parts of 3 songs, and you youngsters are to tell what kind of berry each title suggests. Now, you are to try and get 2 out of 3 on this. All right, Howard, let's have number 1. Lonnie?
Blue sky, so that could be blueberry.
Blueberries, right. Let's see if we can get the next one. Lonnie?
That's when you and I were young,
right.
Maggie. Would that be, is that a young berry?
There certainly is, young berry. That's right. And here's the last one. Lonnie?
That's a turkey in the straw. That's
a
strawberry.
Strawberries, right. Yes, certainly. And could be cranberries, too. Well, I think it's about time now to meet our important guest, and that's just what we're going to do. But first, here's Bob Murphy with a poem of the season.
Correction, Mr. Kelly. I'm using just the first line of a well-known poem, and I'm changing that to read, "What is so rare as a weekend in June?" Let's say it's that weekend when you're starting off on a little trip, or maybe your summer vacation. It's early in the morning, the car's all packed, and you're just about ready to roll when the little woman says,
"Oh, wait a minute, Jim. We can't go yet. Give me the keys to the house."
"Oh, great jumping Jupiter. What have you forgotten now?"
"Oh, don't be cross there. Just give me the keys to the house. I won't be a minute. I know right where it is."
"You know right well what is?" "No, don't answer me. Whatever it is, we'll get along without it."
But, Jim, you know how steady driving can give you a headache sometimes. And up there in the mountains, we'll be eating food we're not accustomed to. And you'll remember from last year how you had acid indigestion a couple of times. And you know how Alka-Seltzer came to the rescue so quickly.
Hey, why make me the example every time? I can remember you were mighty glad we had Alka-Seltzer along last year, too.
Oh, I'm not saying I wasn't. In fact, I think there's nothing quite like Alka-Seltzer to help relieve the fatigue you feel from long hours of driving. And, oh, for goodness sakes, Jim, we're wasting time.
Yeah, and breath, too. If you just said it was Alka-Seltzer you were talking about in the first place, we could have been on our way. I went to the drugstore last night and bought our vacation supply of Alka-Seltzer. And I didn't forget. I put it right here in the car, too.
And that's the place for it, friends. Don't forget that extra package of Alka-Seltzer either. You never know what time of the day or night you may need the fast, effective relief Alka-Seltzer can give. And that extra package can act just like a spare. You may not need to use it, but it's wise to have it there. Get Alka-Seltzer at any drugstore in the large economy size package.
And now it's time to meet our best teacher of 1948. 16-year-old Falcon Guthrie wrote the letter which won for Roy Fisher this year's scholarship award, and he said of our best teacher, "His classroom has the friendliest atmosphere in our school. I feel pounds lighter when I enter that door." Now, friends, just that one sentence tells you a lot about this 22-year-old teacher. Roy Fisher of Volans, Virginia, which has a population of only 100, attended the Volans High School as a student, and he is now teaching English there. Volans is a rural high school with an enrollment of approximately 300 students, many of whom traveled 20. Our scholarship committee, Dr. Whitty, Dr. Olson, and the Reverend Dr. Moore, found that Roy has a splendid record not only as a teacher, but also as a progressive citizen in his community. I'm sure you folks will be interested in reading more details about the background of this fine young teacher in the current issue of Time magazine. Right now, I want you all to meet our best teacher of 1948. And here he is, Roy Fisher. Roy, there are still a few more questions here on my desk. So how would you like to take over for a few minutes and see how you like my class?
Well, thanks, Joe. It'll be a real experience for me. I don't know how well I'll do, but I'll try my best. Are these the questions?
That's right. You just sit right down there and begin with the one on top.
Okay. Now, since you quiz kids have probably had the usual children's diseases at some time or another, Mrs. Belle Clemens of Los Angeles, California, thinks we could have fun using slang expressions to describe them. For instance, for whooping cough, you might say, "I just don't give a hoot." Now, what slang expressions might describe mumps? Lonnie?
Well, there's paint the town red.
All right.
Don't you usually break out with a red rash with mumps?
I think so.
I haven't had
I
them.
believe you're right there. Any others? David?
You're making a mountain out of a molehill and you're trying to get
That's a good one. Lonnie?
Well, during the war, there was over the hump. It was an expression about flying over the Himalayas, and a hump is, like you'd have when you have the mumps.
That's right. David, you have another
idea?
idea?
It was a battle of the bulbs.
Battle of the bulbs. That's very good. Joel?
Doesn't mumps usually occur only on one side, so it could be you're just beside yourself.
Well, I think you'll find it often on each side. Sometimes, though, it's just on one side. All right, that's very good. What slang expression might describe the measles? Lonnie?
I've got dots in front of my eyes.
That's very good. Joel?
Spotty performance.
That's right. Any others? Well, we could say they've got you spotted, you're covered, don't be rash, You're in the pink. Okay. Yesterday, Quiz Kids and I enjoyed our airplane ride so much that I might try to catch you on this question from Mrs. John Kosh of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. What Yankee Clipper recently made 3 round trips within 2 hours and 17 minutes? Joel?
That'd be Joe DiMaggio.
That's exactly right. And Lonnie?
Well, he is talking about the time that he made 3 home runs, which is called a round trip, in 2 hours and 17 minutes, which was the time of the game. And I believe they were playing the... I forget who they were playing.
Playing the Indians. That's right. Very good. All right, this question from R.R. Meir of Chicago is about imposters in opera. And in what opera did a chap named Gregory try to usurp a throne by impersonating the rightful heir who has been murdered? David?
Well, that was in Boris Godunov. It was Gregory who lived in a monastery. He was training to be a monk, and he took the place of Boris Godunov's nephew, Prince Dmitri.
That's right.
Who was really dead.
That's very good. All right, and another question. In what opera does a young man who is really a count pretend he is a music teacher? I believe Lonnie's hand was up there.
That's the Marriage of Figaro by Mozart.
No. David?
The Barber of Seville.
That's right. You remember whom it's by?
No. No, I'm not sure. I think it was Mozart.
No. Joel?
Rossini.
That's right. Very good. All right, we have a nice question this time. In this question from Mrs. Gilpin Walker of Washington, D.C., the last names of famous people have been changed by using another word with the same meaning in its place. See if you can tell the correct name. Thomas Ake. David?
It was Thomas Paine, the author.
That's right. Very good. All right, another. Molly Waterjug. I don't know whose name went up first that time. Was it Helen?
Molly Pitcher.
Molly Pitcher. That's good. And James F. Barrelmaker. James F. Barrelmaker. Lonnie?
Well, this is kind of a wild guess. James Hooper?
No.
His barrel hoops.
He's pretty warm, though, isn't he, Roy?
Yes, you're getting warm.
You're warm. If you just change that W to something else, James... What? Last name. Change the W.
What W?
You said Hooper, didn't you?
No, Hooper, I said.
Oh, Hooper, H. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you better tell him then.
Well, I believe you'll find that's James Fenimore Cooper, and Cooper means barrel maker.
Well, that was a miss on that third part there. We'll have to mark you wrong on that one, kids. So that means that Mrs. Gilpin Walker, Washington, D.C., wins a big $239.50 Zenith Radio phonograph combination from the makers of Alka-Seltzer. Well, we heard the final bell, Roy. It means the same as it does in regular school. Class is over. You've done a fine job of conducting school this afternoon, Roy, and now it's time to receive your reward as the best teacher of 1948. Here to present it to you is the chairman of the board of the Miles Laboratories, Mr. Charles S. Beardsley.
Thank you, Joe. Friends of the radio audience, I consider it a great honor and a privilege to be here to meet Roy Fisher and present to him the annual scholarship award as our best teacher of 1948. This is the third time this award has been given by the Miles Laboratories and the Quiz Kid program. Year after year, the nationwide interest in this annual tribute to teachers has increased. This is most gratifying to us at Miles because the real purpose of our scholarship award is to emphasize the importance of teaching as a profession, to honor all the fine men and women who are teaching now, and to encourage more of our young people to select teaching as a life's work. No other profession can be more stimulating and satisfying than that of guiding the eager young minds of our American children. It carries with it a great responsibility, for it is in the classroom that our children learn the value of our American way of life and their obligation to the future. Roy is fully aware of this great responsibility, and being selected as the best teacher of the year is proof that he is meeting its challenge. Mr. Fisher, on behalf of the Miles Laboratories, I am happy to present to you this check for $2,500, representing your scholarship award as the best teacher of 1948. May your youth, your enthusiasm, and your success as a teacher serve as an inspiration to thousands of other young men and women and encourage them to enter this worthy profession of teaching as you did. Congratulations and best luck to you.
Thank you, Mr. Beardsley. No one will ever know how thrilled I was when the scholarship committee notified me I had won. Winning this contest means so much to me and to my future as a teacher. I want you to know that I'm already making plans to go back to school this fall to work on my master's degree. This award is making that possible, and I hope it will help me become a better teacher.
Well, we're all very happy for you, Roy, and we know you have a wonderful future ahead of you. Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Beardsley. I have a surprise for you. You also have won an award. It is a beautiful gold emblem from Lions International, the Melvin Jones Award, which it is my pleasure to present to you on behalf of the International Secretary General and founder of the Lions Association. It is awarded for your service to American youth. First, by presenting our young people through the medium of this Quiz Kids program as the alert, responsible young citizens they really are. And second, for your encouragement of better education for youth as exemplified by this Best Teacher contest. You are the first person ever to receive this award.
Thank you, Joe. And Mr. Jones, this is an honor I value.
Well, this is really award day here in the Quiz Kids classroom, and we're not through yet. The children who appeared on our Quiz Kids board this afternoon will, as usual, each receive a $100 security bond from the makers of Alka-Seltzer to help them with their future education. The judges have handed me the report on your work here in class today, children, but before we hear who comes back to school next Sunday, we have one more big surprise for our best teacher. Roy, now you've been on the go constantly since you landed at the Chicago airport a week ago, eating in Chicago's famous restaurants, seeing that hit play High Button Shoes, going out to the Cubs Park for a ball game, being outfitted by Marshall Fields with a complete fishing outfit, meeting representatives of the press, and appearing on several famous radio programs. And, well, it's all great fun, but we thought maybe you might need a rest after so much excitement, so that's exactly what has been arranged. Yes, you're to have a week's vacation after this busy whirl here in Chicago. Right after this broadcast, you'll hop a Delta airliner for Florida and spend a week recuperating at the McFadden Deauville Hotel at Miami Beach. Now, what do you say to that, huh? Folks, you should see his face. He can't say a thing. Well, never mind, Roy. It isn't necessary. You just go on down there to Florida and bask in the sunshine and don't worry about a thing. Now then, children, about school next week. It seems our class as a whole missed only one question today. That's fine. Lonnie is first, Joel second, and David and Mark tied for third. That means you four will return to your desks next Sunday along with a new quiz kid, John Galinas, age 11. We hope all you listeners will be on hand, too, for another competitive question session with the Quiz Kids. So until next Sunday, then, this is Joe Kelly dismissing the Quiz Kids. Goodbye, kids.
Bye, Kelly.
Are you having trouble getting your growing children to take their vitamins every day? Try giving them One-A-Day brand multiple vitamin capsules. Each One-A-Day brand multiple capsule contains all the vitamins for which the amount needed for grown-ups and children has been established. What's more, one capsule every day is all they take. And One-A-Day brand multiple vitamin capsules are low in cost. A full 2-month supply for only $2. Ask your druggist for One-A-Day brand vitamins. Good for growing children and adults. Remember, for vitamins the easy way, for vitamins the thrifty way, the brand you want is One-A-Day.
Listen to the Quiz Kids every week. And listen to Alka-Seltzer's News of the World every Monday through Friday. Bob Murphy speaking.
Broadcasting Company.
It will make us strong, and it makes us shout, hooray! It's good for growing babies and grown-ups too to eat. For all the family's breakfast, you can't beat cream of wheat.
Cream of Wheat, the great American family cereal, presents Let's Pretend. Gwen, Sybil, just listen to that audience.
Oh, they're grand, aren't they, Uncle Bill?
They certainly are. Anything behind that big welcome audience?
We want a story!
Oh, you want a story. Pretenders, what's the story for today?
Oh, it's a nice one, Uncle Bill. The story of the 12 months.
And Kingsley Colton says how we'll travel.
Well, we won't be able to ride the roller coaster much longer this year. How about that?
All right, Kingsley, a roller coaster it is. And we'll dip the dips, bump the bumps, and the corners on one wheel. All set, everybody?
Sure.
All righty. 1, 2, 3.
This car going out immediately. No stops till Let's Pretend in the 12 months. Hold on to the rail. Don't stand up in the seats. Okay, Joe, let's go.
Oh, boy, this is what I call real fun, Uncle Bill. You start kind of slow, and then all of a sudden you get going like a skyrocket. Flying along with the wind.
Why, it's almost like eating cream of wheat for breakfast, isn't it, Gwen? Maybe you're a little slowpokey getting out of bed and getting dressed, but boy, oh boy, once you let into a big bowl of smooth, delicious cream of wheat, you're all set to take the whole morning in high gear. And that's because cream of wheat is so jam-packed with quick-acting food energy. It helps you get off to a real flying start every single day. So eat a better breakfast, feel better all day. Get a better start the cream of wheat way. And here's a reminder to keep listening for our cream of wheat game that we'll play right after the first act of today's story, The 12 Months. Once upon a time, just beyond the snow-capped peaks of Calendar Mountain, a cruel mother and her bad-tempered daughter, Katya, made life miserable for pretty little Marushka. We find them now in the living room planning more trouble for the unfortunate girl.
Katya! Katya!
Yes, Mother, what do you want?
It's very near time for the merchant's son, Corell, to bring the brocades. Are you ready to receive him?
Of course I am. I've been printing for an hour.
Hasn't done you much good. You're as sallow as a lemon.
You'd better call Marushka and have her clean up the room. The lazy bone.
Good idea. Marushka! Marushka, come in here.
Yes, Mother.
What were you doing that you were so long in answering me?
I'd only come in the door, Mother. I was hanging out the last of the clothes.
Well, hurry up and clean the room and polish the floors.
Oh, Mother, I'm so very tired. Can't I rest for just a little while?
Rest? Nonsense. What have you done that you should be tired?
Why, Mother, I've done all the laundry for you and Katya, besides baking the week's supply of bread and cakes early this morning.
Well, what of it? You have a home, haven't you? That's more than your father would have left you if it hadn't been for me.
That isn't true. All would have been mine if he'd had his way.
Oh, is that so? That's for your impudence, young lady.
Why are you so cruel to me?
Because your stepsister and I find it very difficult even to look at you with your silly face, much less live with you. Now stop crying and get to work. And as soon as you've finished, go to your room in the cellar, and don't show your face again until time to get the dinner. And stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry for. Won't you have some more tea, Corell?
Oh, please do.
Oh, no, thanks, really. I must be on my way. I hope you'll like the brocades. Father's had quite a time to fill your order.
Oh, they're lovely. Just what I wanted. I intend to have a gown made for Katya of that violet material right away.
Oh, that'll be lovely, Mother.
Violet is a beautiful shade. The flower is my favorite. Well, goodbye, and thank you so much.
Well, come this way, Corell, through the outer court.
All right.
Oh, stupid.
Well, Hello, little lady.
Oh, Mother, I'm sorry. I sat here in the sun and went to sleep. I didn't mean to be here, Mother.
Oh, who is this charming miss?
Why, she's just a neighbor's child we give our table scraps to.
She called you Mother, I thought.
Why, Mother, how can you...
Marushka, quiet you.
Oh, little lady, your eyes are too pretty to be filled with tears. Come now, smile. After all, it doesn't matter who you are. You're quite the prettiest little lady I've ever seen.
Indeed.
Oh, Katya, well, it's been a charming afternoon. Now, I really must say goodbye.
What do you mean by being here when I told you not to show your face?
I think she should be punished for this, Mother.
You're quite right, she should.
And I know just what to do.
Oh, what is it?
You heard Corell say that violets were his favorite flowers.
Yes, I remember.
Well then, Marushka, as punishment, you shall go out into the woods and gather me a large bunch of violets.
Why, Katya, you know as well as I do there aren't any violets now. The snow's still on the ground. In the woods, it's piled knee-deep. Nevertheless, go and get them, and don't come back until you do. Very well. I'll get my coat. Indeed, you'll not stop for that. I'm in a hurry. You go just as you are. But I'll freeze to death, Mother.
Not if you keep moving, and you'd better. Now go. And remember, don't come back until you find the violets.
Very well. I will try. Clever girl, Katya. I think we've seen the last of that one.
Certainly. We won't have to worry about her anymore.
Stir up the fire, Brother February.
Yes, indeed.
It's cold here.
Oh, gentlemen, may I please...
Hello. We have company, Brother Munn. How do you do, little lady?
Oh, kind gentlemen, may I warm myself at your fire? I'm very cold.
What in heaven's name are you doing out in the winter weather, little one?
Yes, and in that thin little dress. You must be frozen.
Poor little lady. Sit here close to the fire and warm yourself.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, that feels good. I don't think I could have gone much farther.
What is your name, little one?
I'm called Marushka, sir. And may I ask your names? You're all dressed alike, except for the color of your robes.
That is true. And permit me to introduce you to my 11 brothers. We 3 in white robes are the winter months. I am December. Here are January and February.
Yes, I'm the
How do you do?
How do you do? And these 3 gentlemen in brilliant green, they are...
Brothers March.
How do you do?
April.
How do you do?
And May.
The springtime months. Oh, I'm very happy to know you. I love your season.
These 3 brothers in robes of gold like sheaves of wheat are the summer months. Here are June.
How are you?
July. And that very lazy fellow is August.
How do you do? How do you do? Oh, what lovely colors your robes are. I know this is the autumn group of brothers, isn't it?
That's right. Our robes blend with the colors of the purple grape and the scarlet maple.
Oh, how nice to meet the months of the year in person. I don't know which is the nicest.
Tell me, little Marushka, what are you doing up here on a snow-covered mountainside?
My stepsister sent me out to look for violets, Brother January.
Well, there are no violets this time of year.
I know, Brother June. But I dare not go home until I find them.
Something is very wrong here. The sweet little lady isn't very happy at home. Are you?
No, Brother September. Although I try to be, really I do. Only I don't know what will happen now when I fail to bring the violets.
Brother April.
Yes, December?
This is your business. Take the magic scepter.
Yes, Brother December. Let me take my magic wand. Magic powers, attend me.
Sun in the sky, shine from on high. Warm south wind blow, melt all the snow. Bring us the season when violets grow.
Look, the snow is all gone. The birds are singing. And oh, Brother April, violets. Great big lovely violets.
Gather them quickly, little Marushka, and return to your home.
Oh.
This change in the seasons is only for you and will not last. Make haste, for the winter months still rule.
Oh, thank you, Brother April. And thank you, all of you, 1,000 times. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. suppose that little idiot found violets at this time of year?
I don't know. What's more, I've never seen any so lovely. But, Mother...
Well?
It doesn't matter where she got them. Corell must not see Marushka again. Do you understand what I mean?
You're right. He was too interested last week when he met her.
I know what to do. Oh, Marushka!
Yes, Katya? Do you want me to dress your hair now?
No, it's too early. I was just thinking how nice it would be to have some wild strawberries for dinner tonight.
But, my dear sister, that's impossible at this time of year.
It isn't impossible, and I want them.
And you shall have them. Marushka, go out into the field and find some wild strawberries, and don't come back until you do.
Very well. But I'm sure someday you will pay for this unkindness to me. You will pay dearly. Both of you.
Come in and welcome, my dear Corell. I wondered if we wouldn't be seeing you soon.
Really? Why?
Oh, don't pretend that you could stay away from my charming Katya.
Oh, Mother.
Well, I really came to inquire where that little neighbor girl is.
Oh.
You know, the one I saw here the first day I called with the brocades? She was asleep on the steps. You remember.
Neighbor girl? Why, I don't remember.
Oh, you surely do. Such a tiny little thing with a wistful face and soft brown hair. Don't you remember?
Oh, yes, I think I do. Oh, Corell, that little girl died.
What?
Yes, she died last week. Her mother told us all about it.
The family has moved away now.
Oh, I'm truly sorry. I'd hoped to... Well, I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Good afternoon.
Now then, something has to be done. If he should ever see Marushka again, he'd never have eyes for anybody else. Especially if he finds out about the delicacies she's been able to bring us. We'll send her away again. And this time she'll have something to bring us that even a magician couldn't get.
It's the only thing to do. Corell must marry me. She shan't have him. What shall we do?
We asked for violets in December, and she found them. Next, she brought strawberries, more luscious than any I've ever eaten. But this time, we'll tell her to get... Let me see. Oh, I have it. Marushka! Marushka, come here!
Well, Uncle Bill, what's our cream of wheat game this morning?
Well, it's called Guessing the Lesson. And to guess the name of the school subject I'm talking about, simply fill in the last word of each of these rhymes. All right, pupils? First, we learn our ABCs, and soon we are excelling in writing words like C-A-T, because we know our... Right. And if you want a swell-tasting treat that spells solid satisfaction with every single spoonful, just help yourself to smooth, delicious cream of wheat. There's a dish that hands you loads and loads of F-L-A-V-O-R, flavor. Okay, now guess this lesson, students. To learn to add, divide, subtract, and figure problems quick, we have to know the subject that is called... Yes, and it's mighty easy to figure that iron plus calcium plus phosphorus plus vitamin B1 add up to 4 swell health-building food elements. And now you get all 4 of them in double delicious, extra nutritious, enriched 5-minute cream of wheat. And now see if you can guess our last rhyme, audience. To us, old dates of wars and kings are not a mystery, and that's because we've learned these things in ancient... Correct. And the cream of wheat folks made history, too, when they gave America one of the fastest cooking cereals in the land. Enriched 5-minute cream of wheat. The quick-to-fix breakfast treat that cooks to full digestibility, even for babies, in just 5 minutes of boiling. Yes, students, for a heads-up start that can't be beat, make this your golden rule. Eat a bowl of cream of wheat before you go to school.
It's way up in flavor. It's way down in color. It's plenty smooth. Marushka's cruel stepmother sent her out into the cold once in December to pick violets and once in January to pick wild strawberries. Instead of freezing as her mother hoped, Marushka made friends with the 12 months, who gave her the violets and then the strawberries. Furious, the cruel mother plans the third impossible task to be given little Marushka.
What do I hear? It's a girl's voice. Crying.
It's a familiar voice, too.
Why, it's little Marushka back again.
So it is. Come, little Marushka. Come over to the fire and warm yourself, my dear.
Oh, forgive me, gentlemen. I only want to warm myself for just a little while and then say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, where are you going, little friend?
Not far, I hope, in that very thin little dress.
I don't care where I go, Brother March. I only know I can't go on like this. I don't want to live.
Marushka, tell us, what is making you so unhappy?
My stepmother says she must have apples plucked right from the tree or she cannot live. I can't find apples with the snow on the ground, nor can I endure these journeys through the ice and snow any longer. I'm so tired and so cold.
Marushka, you're a very sweet little person. So leave the rest to us. Trust the months of the year to help you. We are allies of time, and together we heal all wounds.
I've heard it said that you do, Brother January.
Brother September, we must have big, red, juicy apples for Marushka to take home. That is your business. Take the magic scepter.
Thank you.
Leaves on the trees turn to scarlet and gold. Jack Frost scatter diamonds. Autumn nights will be cold. Lakes mirror the sky. Green fields turn to brown. Trees yield your harvest. Fruit cover the ground.
There you are, Marushka.
Oh, look at all those apples. Oh, you're so kind to me, all of you. I can never thank you enough.
And now, my dear little maiden, run back to your home. Take the apples, and then trust the rest to us. Believe me, everything will be all right.
Thank you. And goodbye.
These apples are perfectly delicious. Where did you find them, Marushka?
I found them high up on the mountainside.
Which mountain? There are many around here.
I think they call it Calendar Mountain, Katya.
Well, go and get us some more.
Yes, and go right away.
Oh, no, Katya. Your days of commanding me are over.
Marushka, go instantly.
And you too, my dear stepmother. What? I don't quite understand what's happened, but I'm not afraid of you anymore. If you want more apples, then go and get them.
You dare to say those things to me? You dare defy your sister? I'll show you who's in command here.
It's about time.
Katya, give me that whip.
Certainly. That's exactly what she needs.
Oh, no, don't whip me. Don't.
Katya, madam, what on earth is this?
Kirill. Why, Kirill, where in the world did you come from?
I knocked, but you didn't hear me. Then I heard your angry voices, so I came right in. Now tell me, what does this mean? You said this little girl was dead. Why did you do that?
Well, they pretended I was the neighbor girl because my mother wanted Katya to be married to you.
I understand perfectly, Marushka. Oh, my dear, I've searched high and low for you. And now that I've found you, I say before all the world, I love you dearly.
Oh, Kirill.
And I ask you to marry me. Will you, my dear?
Though I've only seen you twice, Kirill, there's something within me that tells me you're the man of my heart. And that I will be safe and happy in your protection.
Then come this minute. You will never see these wicked people again.
Well, now you've done it.
I've done it. Who wanted more apples? Who suggested we make her tell us where they were to be found?
Say me, as usual. Well, there's one thing. Since Corell has finally found her and they've left us forever, at least we can enjoy ourselves. I'm going up to find that Calendar Mountain and get some more of those apples and forget the whole business.
Yes, and probably forget to bring even one back for me. All right, I want some of them, too. I'll go with you.
Well, hurry. Come on. Well, thank heaven at last. Here's some people.
Brothers, here's the company we've been expecting.
And a fire. And I need it. I'm frozen.
Well, old man, you aren't much to look at, but we can't be too fussy. We're both frozen.
What do you want?
None of your business, Mr. Snoop.
Keep a civil tongue in your head, Katya. Perhaps they can tell us where the apples are.
We can, but we won't.
What's that?
Ladies, you're about to be punished.
What for, I'd like to know.
For your cruelty to little Marushka, your half-sister.
What? Oh, you've made some mistake. We don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know. We never even heard of her.
Oh, yes, you have. Brother December, as eldest, you are the ruler at present. Will you decide what shall be done with these heartless people?
Since you are so cold in your hearts, since your wicked life is so transparent, both of you will be changed into long, glistening icicles.
Oh, no.
You will cling to the mountainside the year round.
No. No, don't do that. Please.
Have you no pity?
Did you have pity?
Brother December, will this be forever?
No. We will be different from you in that respect. When the sun of human kindness warms your blood, when the love of your fellow man shall melt your hearts, you will be changed back to your human form.
No, please, no.
And now, before we tell you about next week's exciting story, tell me, audience, what's one of the swellest tasting breakfast combinations there is? Oh, you said it. Cream of wheat and brown sugar. The tastiest, most enjoyable, most satisfying breakfast treat you ever sunk your spoon into. Have it tomorrow for sure. Get either enriched 5-minute or regular cream of wheat. Each big package gives you 40 generous servings at a cost of less than a penny a bowl. Remember,
all the family's breakfast, you can't beat cream of wheat.
the pretenders for today were
Gwen Davies.
January,
Michael O'Day.
February,
Donald Bucher.
March,
Don Hughes.
April,
Kingsley Colton.
June,
Bob Reddick.
September,
Jack Grimes.
December,
Bill Lipton.
Marushka,
Susan Thorne.
her stepmother,
Miriam Wolfe.
Katya, her stepsister,
Sybil Trent.
Corell, the merchant's son.
Albert Alley.
Original music was composed by Maurice Brown and conducted by Sidney Raphael. Let's Pretend is dramatized by Nyla Mack and directed by Albert Ward. Now, if you live in or near New York and you'd like to see a broadcast of Let's Pretend, drop a postcard to Cream of Wheat, CBS, New York City for your free tickets. Would you like to go out in the world to seek your fortune? What would you do if you were to receive a magic donkey, a magic table, and a magic stick for your fortune? How do you suppose these three things helped our hero Jack to win the girl he loved? Listen next week when Cream of Wheat brings you the story of the donkey, the table, and the stick. This is Bill Adams saying, remember to eat Cream of Wheat, the great American family cereal. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is ChestertonRadio.com.
Section 44 of G.K. Chesterton's newspaper columns, The New Witness, 1921. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Larry Wilson. G.K. Chesterton's newspaper columns, The New Witness, 1921, by G.K. Chesterton. At the Sign of the World's End, The Escape from Equality. The only moral attraction of socialism is the ideal of equality, or at least the correction of inequality. There may be men who like centralization because it will involve officialism, and who like officialism because they hope to be the officials. But even when they are the officials of a socialist state, they will not be socialists. Their motive is one that could be as well answered in a servile state, and therefore most of them are now almost openly in favor of a servile state. But the motive which makes most honest men socialists is the motive of making a society in which there shall be no masters or slaves. And the moral ideal behind that motive can only be the ideal of equality, or the brotherhood of human beings upon the basis of human dignity. It may seem contradictory, but it is also correct to say that while the Marxians must adopt this ideal, it is difficult to see why they do. Materialism and fatalism are the foundations of their creed, and these views are more easily advanced in support of incurable inequality. It may be arguable that the movements of historic humanity can best be explained as those of animals in search of food. It may be that the Crusaders marching to a howling wilderness bore a striking resemblance to a flock of sheep trotting towards a better grazing ground. It may be that a polar expedition going north is seeking a more agreeable climate, like a flock of birds going south. But nothing is more certain than that all sheep do not find equally good grazing grounds. Nothing is more certain that some birds are left behind, some birds fall and perish, and that some birds are killed by other birds. Of course, there is a distinction here. The moral ideal of equality may, for some reason, exist in spite of materialism, but it seems clear that their equality cannot actually come from their materialism. And I confess I am considerably puzzled about where it does come from. An Irish priest, who is a friend of mine, made the only comment on Marxian egalitarianism which seems to me to cover this point about equality. They have taken the most mystical thing in religion without the religion. But when we turn from the abstract to the concrete conception of equality, we find another difficulty. Numbers of people denounce collectivist equality as impossible. But nobody seems to notice that equality is not so much impossible for anybody as particularly impossible for collectivists. The socialist state gives all power to the government, and therefore cuts much deeper than any other government. In practice, the chasm between the governor and the governed. In every society there is the public official and the private citizen. But the number of things that the public official can do to the private citizen is increased and not diminished by the collectivist change. In short, there cannot admittedly be political equality, even if there is economic equality. Even if we have abolished aristocracy and plutocracy, there can still be bureaucracy, and perhaps a particularly bullying bureaucracy. But in truth, this is only the beginning of the practical problem and the singular paradox. I have said that even if it gives us economic equality, it must very markedly refuse us political equality. But in fact, it will not give us economic equality. There is a hitch or trick in the practical process which could have been calculated beforehand, but which in any case always appears afterwards. A sort of catch in the clockwork even of this clockwork community. Its effect is that even in the purely economic field, equality can be evaded, and its nature can be defined in a single word, familiar to all sorts of people, from the highest order of professional prize-fighters down to the lowest remnant of wandering lecturers and journalists. The secret is in the word expenses. If a man always has a motor car to take him about, only a fine shade of distinction separates him from the man who always takes his motor car about. That fine shade is for us indeed very important, but for him it may be, as in the present case, it may merely be mystical and therefore unreal. The distributist will feel the difference because of the intangible sentiment of property. But the socialist definitely explains that he does not feel or wish to feel the sentiment of property. He does not wish to own things, but only to use or enjoy them. We may therefore safely repeat that if the state permits him to use the motor car, he will probably permit himself to enjoy it. And for most people, a motor car is very enjoyable. It is for them more enjoyable than walking, and if one man walks and the other man motors, we have already a scene of the straight high road of progress not startlingly dissimilar to what may be seen any day in the crooked lanes of our antiquated and aristocratic land. I take the motor merely as a model, but upon this model all the new inequality is built up. The new officials must travel swiftly, and therefore they will certainly travel smoothly. But it will be found also that everything combines to enable them also to live smoothly. They must have the handling of large sums of money, and a great deal of discretion about it, especially as in the case of politicians, the sort of discretion that can cover an indiscretion. They may be regarded as public servants, but they must be in control of a large number of other public servants, and these public servants may begin to look rather like private servants. The same will be found true of 100 details of housing or food or furniture. One of the most tolerant and open-minded men I know, a distinguished war correspondent of strong liberal sympathies, told me that the Russian Revolution had kicked some salt king or other millionaire out of his magnificent mansion, which we agreed was quite cheerful and satisfactory, but that the Bolshevist politician was living in this palace exactly as the salt king had lived in it. My friend had a specially vivid memory of the massive and superb candelabra hanging from the highly decorative roof. It seems a pity it did not fall on the salt king and smash him, but since it missed its opportunity, it might just as well fall on the socialist official before it is too late. The mention of the salt king is not unimportant here, for it distinguished this criticism from the ordinary capitalist criticism. And indeed, the ordinary capitalist has no right to criticize. As he himself is not even aiming at equality, he has no claim to denounce the Bolshevists for not arriving at equality. It is illogical for the capitalists to rave and wail over Moscow because it has begun to reproduce capitalism. But it certainly has begun to reproduce capitalism. My friend, the war correspondent, is the very reverse of a lover of war. But like many men who combine peaceable opinions and personal courage, he is quite capable of the generous illogicality of being a lover of revolution. He is not naturally disposed to abuse the Bolshevists, not nearly so much as I am. But he told me very positively that a new capitalist class is rising in Russia, or in other words that the bureaucracy is capable of becoming also a plutocracy. But although the capitalists have no right to condemn capitalism, we have the right to condemn capitalism, especially when it calls itself socialism, and we have the right to say that such a compromise or amalgamation is more remote from our own ideal than ordinary capitalism itself. And this is so of necessity, for the reason with which this argument began, that the official has in any case more official power than the ordinary citizen, or even than the ordinary capitalist. The new system has already sacrificed liberty, before it thus goes on to betray equality. The logical inference would seem to be that the state which set out to establish equality would end as more unequal than those that have aimed at inequality, would end as the most unequal and unjust of all the tyrannies of mankind. So once more, by a process of elimination, we come back to the ideal of distributive democracy. So in this world men frequently try all the odd things before they think of the ordinary thing. In Russia, indeed, it has always been in some rude fashion the ordinary thing, and in some rude fashion is returning to its rights. But in England, about which I care more than for a universe of Russians, it is still counted so extraordinary that this paper appears eccentric in preaching it, and outside this paper it may never be preached again, as men passing in an express train through a great city see only in one green flash a garden or a field amid the blackness of slums and factories. So in this ephemeral publication, one glimpse of the everlasting sanity will flash and fade. End of section 44.
This is Chesterton Radio, your home for podcasts of works by G.K. Chesterton, plus drama, comedy, mystery, science fiction, big bands, and much more. The soundtrack to your Chesterton day at chestertonradio.com.